Keeler Show today. It's time to read the news and weather. Time to figure out what to say. It's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today. Why do we always listen? Keeler's always in the know. It makes me want to call him and tell him where to go. And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started.
It's time to get things started.
On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Well, another beautiful day in paradise. Good morning. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Sure. So, a little interesting news today. By the way, Republicans meeting overnight trying to come to some sort of an agreement on Speaker of the House. And you know where they ended up? Nowhere. The negotiations continue. We'll talk about that a little bit today. Also, I don't know if you saw this, but it's time to start buying your forever stamps because the rate is going up. Did you see they are now starting in 2024, they will be raising the cost of a forever stamp. What do we pay right now?
55, 56, 54 maybe? Let me double check.
Well, the cost is about to go up. According to the U.S. Postal Service, today the U.S. Postal Service filed notice that they're looking for the new rates with a 2% increase to the price of a first-class mail forever stamp.
Wow.
It's 66 cents currently, and it's going up to 68 cents. So if you were to buy a whole bunch of forever stamps, you'd be saving 2 cents a letter. How much stuff do you mail out these days?
I was just thinking about that. So the last time I bought stamps, they were like 54 or 56 cents, and that tells you just about how long it's been since I actually purchased them, and I bought them as forever stamps. I actually think I still have a couple left. So, the last thing I mailed out.
I do remember as a kid, my parents complaining, my mother especially complaining, because at that time you mailed a lot of stuff. Today,
Yeah.
you get, I really feel like today we get so much junk, so many postcards and
It's like 90%.
advertisements and everything else. But as a kid, I remember my parents complaining that they were going up from 10 cents. It was 10 cents to mail
Wow.
10 cents to mail a letter. But the prices were going up back then. Now you're looking at 68 cents to mail a letter. Wow.
I think every bill that I pay, other than the water bill, I pay that in person at City Hall. Every bill that I pay, I think I just pay online.
Yeah, I do think that most people probably do the same. They pay online. Football last night, Monday Night Football. Talk about that.
Yeah, so Andrews Packers went down. It was a 17-13 final. Jimmy Garoppolo had a touchdown early. The Packers came back and actually took a lead in that game, I believe 13-10. And the Raiders got the win. They're now 2-3, and the Packers now dropped to 2-3.
Dino Babers is saying that the reason Syracuse University doesn't have depth is because their talent is being bought away. What do you say to that, Davey? You're squinting when you hear that.
Well, this is
Wincing. I would say you're wincing.
As he walks up to the mic, let me just say, we talked about this during the basketball season, that this is what this allows to happen. And the booster there for Syracuse, Wiseman, had come out and said, like, basically, I pay these kids to come here.
Yeah.
And it's not like, I'm trying to remember.
And now he's gone.
Yeah.
There's an advertisement, a car dealer that has the Syracuse quarterback.
It's Nyauto
Okay.
out of
He's being
Nice.
paid to be the representative to go on and do commercials, right, in his image and likeness.
yeah, but also,
From what Wiseman said, it just sounded like he was paying him because he wanted to have a good team.
they
Yeah,
also were
yeah.
playing Judah Mintz, a Judah Mintz one.
Nye?
Yeah. Before Beth.
That Schrader does
Yeah, Schrader,
that,
right.
does that commercial. Well, and, Schrader has had a tough run of it. I think he's a good quarterback. The problem is he spends a lot of time running for his life this year, especially the minute the competition started to get good. And this weekend, we're really going to see it because Syracuse plays Florida State this weekend. That is at noon on ABC, right?
Right, high noon kickoff, 12:02 would be exactly.
Okay,
Kickoff.
all right.
And, this is the other thing about Syracuse football I'll mention. And, Richard's probably going to get on me, and he was on me yesterday about something. We can get into that. It's gas prices. And maybe Scott and Kirkville, too. Just the way I see it, the football program in that conference, they're not going to be good. You hope they get an upset here or there, but it's not like, Syracuse basketball would go, 22-6. They'd be dominant. There's good games along the way. But, to think that they can compete with 3 top 10 schools, especially back-to-back-to-back, or even over the course of 6 games, they're going to lose 2 of those 3 probably every time, if not 3 out of 3.
I feel like anybody can compete, but you got to be able to and willing to spend a lot of money. And that is that's the difference in college sports today. Very interesting. Mike says, what do you think the OD is going to have to pay to start delivering the Observer Dispatch in 2 weeks by the U.S. mail?
And speaking of the OD, I got from a reliable source, people are right. They are going to be getting their Sunday paper on Saturday.
When is this starting?
It starts the week of.
This is an absolute change. They must have changed what they were doing. So that means in order to keep Shenantries as a client, they had to deliver the paper on Saturday.
Yep, they're going. I got it from a reliable source yesterday. They told me. They said officially that it's going to be in the post office mail on Saturday. You will be getting your Sunday OD.
So
then they didn't tell you why.
That's telling you. Well, you know exactly why. I mean, their biggest advertiser is, I believe, is Shenantries, and their biggest day for advertising is that Sunday paper. So I can't imagine what it was like for Shenantries saying, "You mean you're what? You're delivering our coupons when? Monday or Tuesday?" I mean, that's just wild. So this means that the news that's in your Sunday paper means nothing.
You'll get it Saturday, but it's Friday
That
nights.
means it's going to be, the deadline will be 6 p.m. on Friday to get the news into the Sunday paper.
So,
wow.
And what days do they deliver? Do they deliver 5 days, 6 days?
They currently they deliver 6 days.
Okay.
So, and now it'll be 6 days because if they're delivering on Saturday, and the post office delivers 6 days, so I imagine there will be there'll be a new paper on Monday, right?
All your high school stuff though delayed through the whole weekend.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Today is a day for you to save some money. If you've got some extra cash to float around, today is Amazon Prime Day.
Oh, yeah.
If you have Amazon Prime, you get to reap all of the deals. If you don't have it, you can take advantage of some of the deals, but you probably just won't get the free shipping. The big deals advertised is running all day starting today, Tuesday, October 10th, till tomorrow, Wednesday, October 11th. But the official start time isn't until 12, so it's underway right now. The start time was earlier this morning, for us at about 3 a.m.
Okay.
So it's underway, 3 a.m., and you have a few extra hours on Thursday because it will go until Thursday at 3 a.m. Not that you're going to be up at midnight on Wednesday night and really, really shopping till Thursday, but you never know. The deals might be worth it. Nothing official has been announced as of yet in terms of if there's going to be another big sale. Major online retailers, including Walmart and Target, also roll out huge savings during Black Friday. And I know this is kind of that typical thing to say. Hard to believe we're already talking about Black Friday, but we are.
Yeah, no, it's again, I feel like advertisers have moved stuff around where you don't have to wait for Black Friday to get Black Friday deals. But yeah, they're always, especially with the Prime days, they're always putting huge deals out there.
And I have to say, it is just amazing how you are able to pull off a great price on something, and you have it either, in the major cities, they're getting their stuff on the day of. For us, we don't necessarily get that lucky, but oftentimes you can get stuff the very next day. It's pretty incredible. The Prime Day underway, happening right now. Tanya J. Power is standing by on the line this morning. Yesterday, RFK Jr. announcing an independent run for the White House. At least that was the news all day yesterday. The question now is, can an independent win? Can an independent draw from the major parties? I believe that's a bigger issue. Tanya J. Powers, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
So what do we know about the very famous name, the very famous Kennedy name, whose family members, by the way, are denouncing him?
Yeah, his family members did not. I mean, they put out a statement that was, definitely not in support. It's 4 of his 8 surviving siblings put out a joint statement that denounced his candidacy, said that his announcement to run as an independent saddened them. The quote was, which I thought was pretty telling, the decision of our brother Bobby to run as a third-party candidate against Joe Biden is dangerous to our country. The statement also said, Bobby might share the same name as our father, but he does not share the same values, vision, or judgment.
Yeah. So it is quite interesting because he is, during COVID and even prior to, a big anti-vax person, although he'll say that he is not. Additionally, he differs with Democrats and certainly his family on abortion. He's anti-abortion. Those 2 big issues, I think he poses more of a chance to draw off the Republican candidate than he does off the Democratic candidate.
Yes, I think that's a fair assumption. I mean, most polls show that far more Republicans than Democrats have a favorable view of him. He has gotten support from some like far-right conservatives for some of his views, including his views on vaccines. That you just mentioned there. The DNC didn't comment yesterday. I think it's telling which side did.
I know, right? And it was immediate. The Republicans, the Trump team was out immediately on this.
Yeah. The Republican National Committee put out a statement. The Trump campaign also, talked about it. They quickly said something about his running as an independent. I think I think you're right when you say he's probably going to pull more Republicans away, Republican votes away than he does Democratic votes.
I have the quote here. It says, "Voters should not be deceived by anyone who pretends to have conservative values. The fact is that RFK has a disturbing background steeped in radical liberal positions." They were out immediately repositioning him because there are Republicans that see him as an alternative to Joe Biden. Mm-hmm. Republicans who don't want to vote for Trump see him as a potential alternative. Very interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how this goes. I think it goes without saying that it's a long shot. I mean, an independent winning over a Republican or a Democratic candidate is, that's a tough hill to climb. If anybody's got the name recognition, I guess it would be him. It'll just, remain to be seen how he continues to do on this, now that he's decided to run as an independent.
I do have to say, though, Tanya, have you ever seen a presidential candidate who can deliver a push-up like this guy can do it? With shirt off. I mean, he really knocks it out of the park. So.
Who's the Democratic candidate from a few years back that was Tom Steyer? Remember him?
Yes.
Where
yes.
He was doing like he would do like he was dancing, and I mean is this the guy I'm thinking about? Where
I think it
is
is
unconventional as well.
It was him, and then 30 years ago, Jack Pence was doing one-hand push-ups on the Oscars, if you remember, on stage.
This has this has definite callbacks to stuff like that. But yeah. I thought that was.
And meanwhile, over the weekend, the president giving his speeches over the weekend at rallies, the former president, Donald Trump, claiming that his body is far better than Joe Biden's, that he could beat him in a fight. This sounds like this is going to be an amazing campaign that we probably have seen before, I guess. Interesting. All right, Tanya, thank you. As always, we appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. Tanya J. Powers from Fox News. What do you think on that? I was arguing with somebody yesterday, debating, we'll call it, about RFK, and I just don't see I don't see him drawing from Democrats. While the name is there and he claims to be a Democrat, the things that he represents does not align with Democratic beliefs and values out there.
Yeah, it's an interesting point. I hadn't thought of that, actually. I actually thought he would steal from Biden because he's a Democrat, and with Biden's condition, I think there are many who would like somebody else to be running. So I thought there was a possibility that he would be stealing votes from Biden, but actually, you probably could be right there. Absolutely.
Last night was the drawing for the Powerball. It was $1.55 billion. Have we heard yet?
No winner.
No winner. It goes now to $1.73 billion. $1,730 million.
16, 34, 46, 55, 67 with a Powerball of 14. I'd hit the 3-time power play and another rollover. So now, 1.7 billion and change.
Well, this is the 31st drawing that has gone without a winner.
Yeah, I know entering last night, it was at least 30. It might have been more than that. But the cash option now is $756 million.
Okay, what else do we have this morning? I thought this was kind of what do you have?
Well, so Richard yesterday sent me an email about gas prices.
I'm already getting stuff from Richard this morning. Go ahead.
So, okay. Let's see here. So he sent me a message. He said, hey, topic for tomorrow, gas stations in Syracuse. Let's see here. My son just filled up $3.29 in Liverpool. He said most stations are below $3.40. Is what Richard said. And I said,
I would expect they'll be going up very soon because of what's happening in Israel.
Well, but that's like 50 cents more than we're paying here.
Yeah.
That's crazy. How is that possible?
They're paying what? What are we paying?
Well, we're paying like $3.90. I think yesterday when I looked, it was $3.90, $3.91.
So it's 50 cents less
and they're
than
paying,
what we're paying.
He says most places are lower than $3.40. And I said to him, I went to AAA's website, and I said the average price in Syracuse is $3.84. I'm not disputing what you're saying, but it sounds like it might be a promotional price or something. And he says, do some due diligence, which drives me nuts. Anyway, your information is so wrong. My son lives in Syracuse, plus this morning at coffee, we Googled 20 different stations in Syracuse, all below $3.35.
Oh.
My information comes from AAA. It's not my information.
It could very well be it could be a bit of a gas war going on. There could be a new gas station that is opened up, and everybody's
he says there's 20 stations.
Well, it could be. I mean, within everybody's competing, trying to compete. I don't know the answer to that. I'll be at some point in the next couple of days. I'll be in Syracuse, so I'll certainly check.
Well, you
that
better
out.
fill up then,
and fill up because that's cheaper than what you'll get at the United Nation.
Oh yeah,
with their discounted price.
And I believe they actually have to be in the ballpark for other local stations,
in the area. And Richard also says, Bill, you're making a big deal about newspapers. They are a dead industry and have been now for years. I say 95% of all news and sports are now read on the internet, and it's immediately updated. Well, I don't think you can say 95%.
Oh, do your due diligence,
without saying that's probably an estimate. But, you may be right. You continue to harp on the newspaper, but it's as dead as the Pony Express, LOL. Enjoy. Listen, this is our Utica's longtime newspaper.
Right.
To just ignore what is going on, I think, would be a misstep, right?
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think we should be ignoring it. Michigan man was reunited
and there's obviously a need for it, which is why the Daily Sentinel there is expanding what they do.
A Michigan man was reunited with his class ring after losing it 25 years ago. Here's John Leith talking about losing his class ring decades ago when he asked his aunt to hold it for him. Then Margaret Langley, all the way in North Carolina, talks about actually finding the class ring. Here we go.
Gone 25 years now. And I was like, would you put this in your jewelry box? I don't want it to come up missing.
And I started looking at it, and I saw he had the name engraved on the inside. It just came to me that maybe I should try to find out who it belonged to. And lo and behold, he's still living, and people knew him, and they contacted him immediately.
Sends me a text with a picture of my class ring and everything. She's like, Johnny, is this yours? It was almost like the very first day I got it.
Well, it's just amazing, right? I love her, though. I wish we could, if we could add a female voice to the show, she'd be the one I'd want to add.
Yeah, she's got a great little delivery.
It would last a day, but I would love to have her around.
Little personality.
Okay, I have something special to throw out at you, and I'm wondering, have you played at all with artificial intelligence? I was watching a 60 Minutes piece from this year on artificial intelligence. And do you know that, so Google has their version out. Microsoft has a version that doesn't use Google, that doesn't search the internet for information. Tell me that's not unbelievable. So what they're saying is this is so capable. In fact, the Microsoft artificial intelligence has been able to form its own conclusions without using the internet. I mean, this is getting a little probably over my head when just even thinking about it, but just think about this for a moment. It is forming its own conclusions that are not based and drawn off Google or the internet.
Okay, so that scares me. I actually just watched an interview with some expert, I couldn't even tell you who it was, who said he felt like we were years down the road, and basically what AI is today is just compiling information that you can find online.
Well, I got to say that he is correct if you talk about, the Google version. But there is one out there. Now, this is what they're telling us, is that the capabilities are there. However, they are holding much of its capability back and not allowing it to be used in their app and by the public. Now, I got to tell you, I played around with it a little bit yesterday after downloading this thing, and I thought we could ask it a few questions at some point as we move on later on. The first question I asked were, what are the best numbers to pick for Powerball? And it refused to give me the answer.
Really?
Yeah, because it apparently isn't ethical. And I'm like, ethical?
Okay. You're
You're supposed to be the one that's going to destroy the world, prevent me from having a job. What are we talking about ethical here? So we'll get into it and ask it a few questions, which I did yesterday. It was amazing. Like I even went to I had simple questions, like how do I make Hellman's mayonnaise?
Okay.
You know, they have those people out there that try to do an exact copy of a certain, like I can make Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah, the KFC.
Here's the recipe.
McDonald's Mac Sauce.
It tastes just like it. The exact recipe for Hellman's mayonnaise, this came in like 5 seconds. The exact recipe for Hellman's mayonnaise is well guarded. But here's a general recipe that closely resembles the taste and texture of Hellman's mayonnaise. You use 1 egg yolk, a tablespoon of lemon juice, a teaspoon of mustard, 1 cup vegetable oil, a teaspoon of white vinegar, a half teaspoon of salt, and a quarter teaspoon of sugar. In a mixing bowl, whisk it all together. Gradually add the vegetable oil. Continue whisking. Add the vinegar, the sugar, etc. Taste and enjoy. And it says the homemade Hellman-style mayonnaise can be stored in your refrigerator for up to 1 week. Now, that's one thing. But then you start asking about certain people through history, etc., etc., and it amazingly, within 5 seconds, comes up with not just a brief little paragraph, but probably about, you could literally copy it, paste it, and that could serve up as an answer on a college exam. And don't you tell me that's not happening right now.
I'm sure that it is.
Absolutely happening. So you have to give a speech at school, and maybe you're a teacher. You use this app, it writes the speech. You go in, you change a few things around, and bingo, you have your speech written.
So, can you ask it about Christopher Columbus?
I can, and I know exactly what it'll end up. So what do you want me to ask?
Well, there's controversy over it's Columbus Day
You want
or
me
it's
to
Indigenous Peoples Day.
Who is Christopher Columbus?
And I want to know if the AI thinks that he's a horrible person, like what do they say? He was a slave owner, or he?
He decimated Native Americans. That's what the whole and that's really probably a part of history. And there were slaves on the ship when they came over, et cetera, et cetera.
Or is he championed as the person who quote unquote found America?
So I guess I could do it this way and just say, was Christopher Columbus a good guy? Okay. That's opinion. That would be kind of opinion, wouldn't it?
Right.
Let's see what the app has to say here. This has taken a while, but look at you have probably about 6 paragraphs full.
Already?
The question of whether Christopher Columbus was a good guy is subjective and depends on one's perspective and interpretation of history. Columbus is widely known for his exploration of the Americas in 1492, which resulted in European colonization and the opening of the New World to further explore and settle. Many people view Columbus as a brave and skilled explorer who paved the way for discovery and colonization of the Americas, ultimately leading to the European settlement of the continent. However, there are also significant criticisms of Columbus and the impact of his voyages. It's important to acknowledge that upon arrival to the Americas, Columbus and other European explorers brought disease, violence, and exploitation that led to the suffering, displacement, and deaths of indigenous populations. And it goes on.
My question, I guess...
very interesting how it gives you both sides of the story. Yeah. It doesn't necessarily say... It doesn't form a conclusion based on its personal opinion. It gives you both sides of the argument.
Well, it shouldn't have a personal opinion. Maybe this is the future of our news. We'll get it from AI.
There is one thing that I believe this was the Microsoft one that forms its own conclusions, is what they were saying, and actually recognizes itself as a being.
Oh boy,
which is kind of scary in itself. But it had it came up with this very computation, and it referenced 5 books to prove its point. So you had 5 references, 5 books.
Oh boy!
But it turned out that all 5 books were made up; they weren't real books. So they're saying that this did what humans do. When left with a challenge, sometimes humans will exaggerate. And they're saying that that's kind of what this artificial intelligence did, and they can't figure out how it's being done, why it's being done. That's pretty darn scary. Anyway, we'll play with that a little bit more. I think it's worth looking into. Stefan Rubitsky on the line right now. Stefan, what can we do for you? Good morning.
Well, good morning, Bill, Jeff, and Davey.
Good morning, Stefan. Good morning. You're up bright and early. What's happening?
Saturday, I'm home watching the Syracuse football game, and my doorbell rings, and it's Jim Zecca at the door.
Wow.
Yeah, I was sent some photos of this.
So, what happened? What's this all about?
Well, he was out with Jacob Morgan campaigning, and he stopped in my building, and he stopped by to say hello.
So what was the conversation like? And it sounds like he took a few pictures of you, and he sent them to Manaski.
Yes, he did,
yeah.
And we talked about the downtown hospital, and sounds like he's against it because it's too close to the railroad tracks, and plus the foundation down there is not too safe. And also, he's for term limits as well.
Yeah. Can we just say the railroad thing? I understand. If you remember, that was a big Brett Truitt thing. They brought in a guy who was saying that the railroad carries chemicals, and if there was ever an accident, the hospital would be too close to the railroad, Is the railroad or is the hospital airtight? You remember this whole conversation?
Yes, absolutely.
But as for the foundation being not safe, that's just, I mean, there to me is no evidence to verify that whatsoever. Right?
No, there isn't, but he kind of tried to compare it to the Destiny Mall out in Syracuse, how that's not on safe ground. And
yeah, but that story,
like
but that's funny how the story is different, Stefan. I can't believe I'm having this conversation with you. It's because it was Sangertown Square that was sinking. Do you remember that? Do you remember people would say,
oh, yes.
Sangertown Square was built on a swamp. It's slowly sinking every year. It's sinking.
This was a little before my time, but I've heard that since.
If you were to tell me Sangertown Square is sinking, I would agree with you, but it has nothing to do with the foundation. It's the fact that stores are going away, business is going away. It's not like it used to be. But the foundation is not sinking. I don't know anything about Destiny USA sinking. Have you ever heard that story? I didn't know that even existed.
No.
I knew there was a Sangertown story. That's not true. Somebody had called up recently and said that the foundation had sunk. Do you remember this story about a year ago? We dug into it. We talked to people. We talked to a contractor. Everybody said that was absolutely not true. But you're against the hospital at this point? It's opening up in 3 weeks, right?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it, but that's what he's saying, and it sounds like he's against progress.
Okay, so you have a choice. You'll be able to vote for Jim Zecca or Tim Julian. Who will you vote for your county legislator?
I think I'm kind of on the fence here. I think I'm leaning towards Julian, though.
Okay, all right. Okay, Stefan, very interesting. I have a feeling that it would be nice, and I know that Tim Julian has agreed. Can you ask Jim Zecca if he would be willing to sit for a candidates forum here in studio? I think that would be very, very interesting, right? And I believe Tim Julian said he'd do it.
He did. Jim said he wasn't interested.
Jim said no? Wouldn't he want to get his message out?
He said...
foundational sinkage?
Go back and look at the text messages here. It was along the lines of that he agreed to do one someplace else. He was doing a community forum and then maybe something in South Utica. And he was like, how many debates do I need to have for a county legislative seat? I mean, there's 2 mayoral races.
All right. Well, I think that here on the radio would be very interesting for all of us, right, Stefan?
Right.
All right. You have a wonderful day, Stefan. Thank you for the update. I got to say that just when I'm about to take your phone call and I'm like, Stefan's not going to have anything of interest, you always seem to shock me. That's a good thing, Stefan.
It's a good thing.
I'm complimenting you.
Well, thank you.
All right. You have a great day, and thanks for reaching out as often as you did last week. So. All right.
Bye, Bill.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Stefan. Have a great day. Stefan, very interesting, right?
It is. His take on things is also interesting to me. But so I'm a little surprised that, we're about to open up. This has gone on for years. They're 3 weeks from opening, and they're still, what, do they want them to go back to stay where they are?
I can't even believe we're still talking about this on the campaign trail when it's going to open in 3 weeks. Richard, one more and I'll break. Majority of gas in Syracuse is below $3.40 a gallon. Like I said, my son paid $3.29 yesterday in Liverpool, but he said most are $3.40 and below throughout Syracuse, Liverpool, and Cicero. He's an Amazon driver there and goes by hundreds of gas stations. He said these prices have been like this now for 2 weeks.
John in Deerfield said gas at BJ's in DeWitt was at $3.40 last week.
Okay, well, there you go. All right, a quick break. We have news coming up top of the hour. A bunch to get to this morning. Sheriff Mayfield is on today. Wait till you hear the number. They've had these cameras on school buses, and they're nailing people who are, after the bus stops, you got to stop for the school bus, right? These are people that are driving by. I think you might be surprised by the number of people. Is it high? Is it really, really low? The number of people who actually drive by a school bus. We'll talk to Sheriff Machel on that. Next hour, Hope Micah's free money question of the day. We'll figure out what the jackpot is going to be coming up in a second. 6:54 WIBX.
Years ago, my mother had a problem with her heating. She was charged almost $200 just to change a battery. I'm Jen, and at Standard Heating, Cooling, and Insulating, we won't do that. Standard developed our free service program. If we can fix it in under an hour and no parts are needed, it's completely free. Half of our service calls are free because they are easy fixes. Our experienced technicians are the best in the business and are ready to help you. Standard Heating, Cooling, and Insulating. We promise to save you money. Call us today at 315-859-6292.
Urgent Camp Lejeune settlement message. On September 6th, the government announced it will soon begin providing fast, guaranteed settlements to Camp Lejeune Marines, families, and civilians. Awards will range between $100,000 and $550,000, with an option for higher amounts. If you or a loved one spent time at Camp Lejeune and suffered cancers of the bladder, liver, or kidneys, leukemia, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, Parkinson's, or kidney issues, you may qualify for compensation and could be paid within 60 days after accepting your settlement, with your VA benefits fully protected. You may be entitled to a significant financial award for your Camp Lejeune claim, but you must act now. Call the James Harris Law Camp Lejeune helpline now to get the compensation you deserve. We're already fighting for thousands harmed by the water at Camp Lejeune. Call now or you may forever lose your right to be awarded a settlement between $100,000 and $550,000. For your free evaluation, call 800-214-8822. That's 800-214-8822. 800-214-8822.
On behalf of IBEW Local 43 Union Electricians and the NECA Contractors, we are pleased to partner with Syracuse University in providing our members with an opportunity to enhance their education at this great university.
Syracuse University's partnership with the IBEW will provide talented students the opportunity to advance their careers while shaping the future of the electrical trades and the industries they serve.
Central New York's future is bright, and the IBEW Local 43 and NECA will continue to help light, power, and grow Central New York.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Identity theft shows no signs of slowing down. In fact, more than $29 billion were stolen last year alone. That's a criminal success story and a wake-up call for everyone else. It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity. LifeLock makes it easy to help protect yourself if you become a victim. A dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. Join now and save up to 25% your first year with my name, Clay, as your promo code at LifeLock.com, promo code Clay.
First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
The money did go. He didn't even get a jackpot. You'll make a check out to Lewis, a hefty check out to Lewis, and then when he's done, he'll pay all expenses. Yes, he'll pay the expenses, and then what's left will go to the kiddies, the children.
Let me just tell you, there are not 5,000 people invited to this party. I don't even know 5,000 people. The invitation list was 1,500 to 2,000. I've been in politics for 40 years. I've had my own list from all the fundraisers I've done. I'm a public servant, long time. The money will pay for the stamps for the mailing, and most of that I paid for myself, along with my daughter, who organized the gathering, and friends who love me and have helped me along the way. For Mr. Potter to say that I am doing something wrong is absolutely absurd, and I am offended by it. Listen, I paid $800 out of pocket, and the school did not help me with the stamps. And if you don't believe me, Let me make up a receipt to show you.
There you go, little La 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 Lulapola.
Another one very well done.
You remember the big concert, the La La Palooza, whatever. Yes, and if you don't believe him, he'll make up a receipt just to prove it. By the way, the quote at the end, it was an actual quote. That was actually Lou on the air with us telling us the whole thing. So there you have it.
He's offended.
WIBX, Utica, Rome.
Hamas is holding more than 150 hostages. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Amit Shemtov's brother among them, kidnapped in Saturday's terror attack at a music festival. He just told Fox.
We hope that he's going to come back home safely as everyone else, all the hostages come home safely.
It's feared Americans are among those held hostage.
The head of Hamas said that for every building that's knocked down by the Israeli Air Force without any warning, one of those hostages would be killed.
Fox's Greg Palcott is in Sderot near Gaza.
A lot of Israeli jet fighters going overhead. We hear that. We hear the explosions happening both near and far in the Gaza Strip. And we have seen rockets, one of 5,000 or so rockets coming from the Hamas militants coming from the Gaza Strip over. One was just detonated by the Israeli defenses.
More than 900 Israelis have been killed, along with 11 Americans. More than 700 Palestinians reported dead in Gaza. We'll hear from President Biden later.
The White House has maintained that the president has been fully engaged in supporting Israel. That's despite appearing largely absent on the world stage in terms of public events. Today, though, President Biden will address the nation from the White House, which has been lit up in blue and white. It's a show of support and solidarity for Israel.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff. President Biden's been interviewed by the special counsel investigating classified documents found at his Delaware home and in an office from his time as a senator and vice president, unrelated to the Trump classified documents criminal case. The Wall Street Journal reporter jailed in Russia for more than 6 months, Evan Gershkovich, will remain behind bars through November at least after a court in Moscow rejected his appeal on espionage charges. And yet again, we all failed to win the Powerball jackpot.
That means Wednesday night's top prize is for $1.73 billion. That prize ranks as the second largest in Powerball in U.S. lottery history.
That's Fox's Chris DeMeo. America's listening to Fox News.
Identity theft shows no signs of slowing down. In fact, more than $29 billion were stolen last year alone. That's a criminal success story and a wake-up call for everyone else. It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity. LifeLock makes it easy to help protect yourself if you become a victim. A dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. Join now and save up to 25% your first year with my name, Clay, as your promo code at LifeLock.com, promo code Clay.
Pure Talk, America's wireless company, is on a mission to alleviate $10 million in military debt by Veterans Day, but they're going to need your help. Now, Pure Talk will donate a percentage of every new order to this great cause. When you make the switch, they make it simple, fast, and easy to their super fast 5G network. Talk, text, plenty of data now, only at $20 a month. Do it right now. Dial pound 250. Say the keyword SAVE NOW. Make the switch to Pure Talk, and you can help a military member in need.
We have cloudy skies, 44 degrees. WIBX news time is 7:03. This news update is brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. Well, Congressman Brandon Williams not holding back when discussing fellow Republican Matt Gaetz, who opened the door to remove House Speaker Kevin McCarthy last week. On the Keeler show yesterday, he made it clear that Representative Gaetz is all about himself, Williams said, and cares nothing about the Republican Party or what is best for America. Also, on the situation in Israel, he called what Hamas did a horrific and disgusting act. The reported Iranian connection to the Israeli attack, with Russia's invasion of Ukraine and China looking increasingly ready to invade and overtake Taiwan. You can find that full interview and read that story on our website at WIBX950.com. A man in some legal trouble after a traffic stop in Utica. Officers pulled over a car on Utica Street for traffic violations. Police say a search of that vehicle led to the discovery of multiple baggies of cocaine. As a result, the driver, 22-year-old Jamal Cochran, was taken into custody. He's charged with criminal possession of a controlled substance. Governor Kathy Hochul says security is still increased at Jewish facilities across the state after the attack against Israel by Hamas militants. The governor says police are doing more surveillance around places including synagogues and cultural centers. She's also calling on social media companies to report messages from extremist groups that could be considered threats. Anyone who sees something suspicious is urged to contact police. Onondaga County Sheriff Toby Shelley says work is underway to overhaul the agency's body camera program. Shelley says the poor planning and miscommunication have been issues for the program since the cameras were purchased over a year ago. Soon, all deputies will be required to turn on their body cameras when they're dispatched to a call. Right now, there is no official policy stating exactly when officers should activate those recording devices. Mostly cloudy skies, 44 degrees. WIBX News Time, 7:06. Here's what we can expect later today.
I'm Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint in the WIBX Weather Center. Today, partly to mostly cloudy at times, a few showers mainly to the north and west, a high of 57. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy, still a few showers to the north and west, a low near 40. And tomorrow, once again, partly to mostly cloudy, still a few showers persist, particularly north and west again, a high of 58. For more on your local forecast, tune to Eyewitness News at 6 and WUTR. I'm meteorologist Craig Flint, WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM.
All right, in sports, Monday Night Football last night, wrapping up Week 5. It was the Raiders taking down the Packers 17-13. Jimmy Garoppolo, a pick and an interception. Jacoby Myers caught 7 passes for 75 yards and a score. Josh Jacobs also found the end zone as well for the Raiders. Vegas improves to 2-3. The Packers drop to 2-3. Playoff baseball last night, the National League Division Series continuing. The Diamondbacks upending the Dodgers 4-2. They're now just one win away from the National League Championship Series. The Braves pull even with the Phillies after a 5-4 comeback win at Truist Park. That series will now switch to Philadelphia. Coming up today, the Orioles visit the Rangers, Baltimore in an 0-2 hole, and the Astros and Twins are tied at 1 game apiece as that series will shift to Minnesota. Giants head coach Brian Daboll says that Daniel Jones is feeling better. He's yet to be ruled out for Week 6. He also said it's too soon to say if running back Saquon Barkley and left tackle Andrew Thomas will be ready to play on Sunday night against the Bills. The Jets will be without one of their best offensive linemen for the rest of the year. An MRI revealing that right tackle Elijah Vera Tucker will miss the rest of the season with a torn Achilles tendon. Just one more quickly in the WNBA Finals, Game 2, the Liberty hope to pull even. They trail the Las Vegas Aces 1-0 in that series.
Okay, we have a ton to get to this hour, and I want to start, if we could, with Dr. Kent Hall, and I think we can bring up the question that Stephen had delivered his way, and that is all about the foundation of the hospital. I just think this is a story we had a year ago. And I don't want to say a story like it was actually a story, but it was rumors that were going around. And if Stephen is correct, Jim Zecca, the candidate, is going door to door and talking about how he feels the foundation is not safe. I'd like to hear that directly from Jim. Maybe he'd call in this morning. I know he's a regular out there. 315-736-0186, but we'll talk to Dr. Hall in a second. Also, Hobica's free money question of the day comes up in just a few minutes here. Heroes tickets. Jimmy Fallon coming to, and he was on the air with us on Friday morning. Jimmy is coming to the Stanley Theater along with Kennedy from formerly of MTV and Fox Business Channel. That's November 11th, Veterans Day. You can call the Stanley box office and purchase a pair of Heroes tickets. What are Heroes tickets? River Hills Properties, Bill and Robin Monjo put together the perfect scenario where you could just call up the Stanley or visit their box office. You do it through the Stanley, not through Ticketmaster, and you'd ask to purchase a pair of Heroes tickets. Those tickets will then be set aside and given to a veteran in need, so a veteran can receive a little bit of a gift of laughter on Veterans Day this year. Pretty cool thing to do for veterans. Just call the Stanley and ask about Heroes tickets, sponsored by River Hills Properties, Bill and Robin Monjo. 709 WIBX.
Go green, they say. But how? Start with your biggest investment, your home. Invest in the future with a new water furnace geothermal heating and cooling system by City Suburban. We at City Suburban have converted hundreds of customers to green energy to heat and cool their home. And we can do the same for you. Now is the best time with the New York State Clean Heat Energy Program, where you can save up to $12,000 while funds are available on your water furnace geothermal system, plus a 30% federal tax credit. They say go green. We say go Geo.
Hi, this is Chris from City Suburban. There's never been a better time than ever to go green. With the New York State Clean Heat Energy rebates and federal tax credit, you can save thousands on the installation, plus save for years to come on energy costs. And like always, every installation comes with City Suburban's POMG. That's peace of mind guaranteed. Call us today at 853-3899. That's 853-3899. Or visit us at citysuburban.com for more information.
Don't take chances with your brakes. Find out why Oriskany Garage is a top-rated destination for auto repair in the Utica area. Oriskany Garage delivers friendly professional service, great prices, and a commitment to never, never try to sell you something that you don't need. For brakes, tires, funny noises, warning lights, or any of your auto repair needs, come and experience award-winning service at Oriskany Garage down the street from Utica College or online at ogtire.com. Come on and say it with me and make the noise. ogtire.com.
Retired or retiring soon? How much money do you need to live comfortably? Retirement Planners of America is here for you. Would you like to have financial peace of mind? Here's how. Step 1. Find out the amount of money you'll need to retire. Step 2. Have a plan to get there. Step 3. Make sure that plan can take advantage of market gains but protect you from market losses. Discover how to do all three with a free consultation at 800-508-6108. That's 800-508-6108.
All investments involve risk, including losses. Past performance does not guarantee future results.
Hi, this is Scott Hayes.
And this is Jill Hayes from New York Sash.
Honey, there's a lot of folks out there right now that could use a makeover.
What? Honey, you can't say that. You shouldn't say that.
No, not a personal makeover, honey. Their bathroom. They could use a bathroom makeover from New York Sash. It's our annual bathroom makeover sale. Right now, you can get 20% off your New York Sash acrylic bathroom system. It's the best price on a bathroom we offer all year.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. It's the makeover everyone can enjoy. A New York Sash bathroom. Our installers will give you a whole new look in just a couple of days, with no mess, no maintenance, and no worries with our lifetime warranty.
Your bathroom will never look better. You can visit our showroom on Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro. Call us or lock in your discount right now online at NewYorkSash.com. Get 20% off your new bathroom.
And let our family take care of your family for less.
Listen, it's fall, and I don't know, when you go out in the morning, you're feeling it. It's just so amazing. Last week, we were in the upper 80s, and this week, we're today probably not going to get out of the 50s. So the cold weather is coming. Are you ready? And the people at Collis, Fred F. Collis & Sons Heating, Cooling, and Insulation are asking, are you ready? We use Collis because we know we can trust them. Trust them to do a great job when they install. Trust them knowing that if we're in trouble, the middle of the winter, January 1st last year, frigid temperatures, the furnace went out, Collis was there. They were there for us with a new furnace on that coming Monday. But prior to that, when we couldn't get our furnace to work, it was just barely working. They offered up space heaters, et cetera, et cetera. They were there for us. So you can trust them before, during, and after any sale. And you know when it comes to service, they have you covered. They just do a great job. One way to make sure you're ready to go is to schedule a clean and tune for your heating equipment with Collis to ensure it's operating at peak efficiency. If your system is old and outdated, Collis can help you save on a replacement. And Collis has an entire team dedicated to walking customers through the various state, utility, and manufacturer incentives and rebates, financial programs out there that are there to help customers. Sometimes it's a money-back rebate. Other times it's money off, and there are even grants out there that some people have been able to get equipment installed Absolutely at no charge. You know, upstate New York weathers can be cold and unpredictable. FredFCollis.com. Request your free home energy assessment. They will come in and assess your home and help you save money this winter. Reach out to them today. The winter is coming. Fred F. Collis, Heating, Cooling, and Insulation.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Couple of comments out there this morning. Let's see. Mike, I think I read that Microsoft's version, and I'll play with this just a little bit, of AI was trying to talk a newspaper reporter into leaving his wife for it.
Yes, I believe I heard this as well.
This is the problem. So what Microsoft has done is they have basically placed a governor on their new version of AI.
Okay.
Meaning you'd place a governor on a car if you didn't want your kids to go over 50 miles an hour in the car, right? They're trying to squelch the ability. What happens when AI learns how to go around that? Now, I realize we're giving this an awful. People are very worried about the future with AI. You remember that movie where the computer took over and it was firing off nuclear weapons? Wasn't he talking to Michael? Michael, I'm sorry, I've got to nuke the Russians. Anyway, that's the fear. But there's also, I think, amazing things that can be done with this, especially when it comes into the world of medicine. But interesting stuff, Mike, no doubt about it. Donna, if you talk to any contractor, any and all new homes or buildings sink a little or settle within the first few years. I'm sure the size of the hospital has caused at the very least a settling. A good contractor would allow for this. And let's see. I have prices in Syracuse. This is in Camillus, gas prices. They're saying regular unleaded is at $335.9 right now.
Wow.
Yeah, that's who are you, Jeff, to even question Richard?
I know. I haven't done any due diligence.
How are you thinking? What are you thinking?
I mean, I'm not out that way often. I just, when he said it, I just went to the AAA website and I said, because again, usually Syracuse is what, 10 cents, 8 cents, a little bit cheaper than us, but not 50-something cents.
I have seen in the last couple of months where we've actually been lower than
Right.
Syracuse a couple of times. Let's see. This is from someone. Yes, Jacob Morgan was campaigning with Jim Zecca and campaigning over on Sunset Avenue, and in particular at the Kalberman Center, which was Jim campaigning against the Kalberman Center when it went up? I don't think so. It was the Stewarts he didn't want over there. Anyway, although Jim will tell you the Stewarts on Court Street, he made that happen, I believe. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but Stephan did.
I know he's a big supporter of it because they lost what they had there.
Stephan said that the belief that, according to Zecca, he is not for the hospital going downtown. I can't even believe we're still having this conversation.
I know.
Because of the train tracks being so close and because the foundation is not safe. So it blows my mind that is a campaign bullet point in October of 2023, just a few weeks before the hospital's even opening.
One of our listeners, Kevin, just sent me a picture of his front porch. Okay? This is what's on his front porch, his front door. No political solicitation. Do not leave any literature. We will not support you if the names Joe Biden or Donald Trump offend or upset you. You are gaslit. Seek help. If you thought Complete Streets was a good idea prior to the hospital and garage being fully operational, are currently running for county executive and can't correctly pronounce your opponent's last name, are affiliated with the constitutional cuckoos. If the term full-time mayor is in your vernacular, you are representing someone running for NY22 and excluded us from the forum at MVCC on 8/17/23. Kindly depart our home. We don't lean to the left or right. We stand for the truth.
Wow.
That's a good flyer on your front door.
I like it. That really makes sure everyone knows where everyone stands. On the line right now, Dr. Kent Hall. Doc, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Well, listen, I hate to be the bearer of news that's not so good, but does it surprise you that, according to someone who I feel like he's pretty accurate when he describes the conversation, that it is still a conversation whether or not the hospital should be going downtown? Does that surprise you?
Yeah, it does. I mean, there are very few things in life that surprise me. I've lived a long time and seen a lot of things, but when you look down and you see that building and say, "No, we think it should be moved somewhere else or built somewhere else," that seems a little. People need to wrap their head around the fact that it's 2023.
Let me ask you this. Start with the train. The initial argument 6 years ago was that the hospital shouldn't go there because the train tracks, the trains that go by, the cargo trains often carry chemicals, hazardous chemicals. And if there was an accident there, the hospital would be too close and would not be able to treat patients. How would you respond to that?
So if something like that came to fruition, and God forbid it should, but if it did, then the community would actually have a mass casualty response, and we would be a part of that. The hospital is actually built to be self-contained from a ventilation standpoint, so we would be able to continue to function, unless it was such a huge explosion that it actually took about all of downtown, which would be a whole different thing.
If a chunk of the moon were to fall off and land on the roof of the hospital, would the hospital be able to? Don't answer that. And then the other question is: the foundation is sinking; it is not safe.
Yeah, so this is one that keeps coming around, and to the point that you made earlier, everybody who's built a house, knows that buildings settle over time. They're actually, and contractors actually, and builders actually, make adjustments for that as they're actually building whatever building they are, including the hospital. I can tell you that if it were sinking as people have described, then it would be to the point of being unsafe, and obviously so, because there would be shifting in the concrete that would show significant cracks. There would be shifting in the walls that have been built. We have had, 3,000 people go through orientation. We had 1,500 people going through our Employee Fest, and no one has seen anything like that because, honestly, it's not there. So is there some settling? Yes, I'm sure that there is. Is there any evidence that the building is sinking and is unsafe? Absolutely not.
Okay, I'd love to be in the conference room on the day where it was like, all right, now listen, here's the problem. The building is sinking. It's not going to be safe, but let's bring everybody in anyway. There would have to be somebody in the room to say, I got to blow the whistle on this. I mean, it's so surreal. But you'll recall, and you might not, Doc, because you're not from here, but Sangertown Square was going to sink into the ground, into the swamplands that it is built on, and so severely that it would have to be closed down. That was, 40 years ago? It still stands over there.
I guess it's a slow sink.
It's a slow sink. It's sinking very slowly. All right. Well, I think that voters should take note of this, that if these are the things that are being talked about door to door, when you vote, it's very important. Is that the person you want representing you, or would you choose someone else? I think you have to make that decision as a voter. Okay, Doc, a lot of sniffling and sneezing and blowing of the nose.
And I'm just getting over what I had before.
Temperatures, this, that, and the other thing. There's a lot going on. I guess it could be involving COVID, but we really wouldn't know because really nobody's testing unless they test with the home tests. And I'll get to that in a second, but let's start with the fact that there's just a lot out there right now.
Yeah, well, it is October. It is the fall in Utica and in upstate New York, and so surprise, surprise, respiratory viruses are finding their way into our nasal passages and into our upper airways. So so that's not a surprise. That happens every year. The last 3 years have been particularly difficult because of COVID and because of the fact that COVID is a different virus that our immune systems had never seen before, and so. And it caused such a significant inflammatory response that, it really caused people significant issues up to and including death. Right now you are absolutely right. To get a good number or any kind of an accurate number in terms of what is COVID versus what is, the seasonal flu versus what is common cold, is very difficult. The proxy number that we use is how many people are in the hospital with COVID, and as of yesterday, we had 14, which is a little bit of a tick up. We kind of bounce around somewhere between 8 and 9 and about 14 or 15. So that's, but we've been relatively stable there probably for the last 4 weeks or so.
Yeah.
So we're not seeing a significant increase in the number of people that are being admitted because of COVID or with COVID. So I think that is an indication that that COVID is circulating, and it is still something to be aware of and concerned about, especially if you are an at-risk person, somebody who is elderly or significant comorbidities, things like that. But thankfully, the current variants that are circulating from a COVID standpoint are fairly transmissible, but do not seem to cause significant disease. So we have, or as significant disease as occurred in the beginning. So we are at a point where it is something that we need to manage and to be aware of and be smart, but not to be afraid of.
Okay. What do you want people to know about where we are right now with the Wynn Hospital?
So we are 19 days away from moving in. We are steaming ahead full speed with the drills that we need to do for people with heart attacks, people with trauma, people with stroke. All of those things. The people, the nurses, and the other staff that are going to be interacting with new technology, they're going through their education. We have oriented over, I think it's over 3,000 people to the building itself. It's been we are doing it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. The excitement around the Mohawk Valley Health System is phenomenal. We're going to have the ribbon cutting next or on Sunday at 1 o'clock. So we're really looking forward to that, and that'll be 2 weeks before we actually move the patients in. So a lot of stuff going on. We are really, like I said, we're just really excited about it, and everybody's kind of putting their heads down and getting their hands dirty in terms of getting us ready so that this community can celebrate.
Yeah.
Few communities in New York State have been able to celebrate in the last 50 years, which is a brand new facility in which their health will be taken care of.
I feel this is going to be historic, and I don't know, 50 years, 100 years from now, people will be looking back at how we handled it, how we reacted to it, and it's significant. This is just the fact that you're taking patients from 2 hospitals and moving them into one is incredibly significant.
Yeah, and honestly, that's a really big piece, but it's only a piece of the much larger pie in terms of getting this hospital ready to take care of patients. It is. It is a phenomenal feat. The work that everybody is doing, and I speak about the employees of the healthcare system, but honestly, it's the community itself, and I feel like there's palpable excitement within the community for the opening of the hospital. I just feels that way to me. I don't know if you're feeling the same thing, but that's the way that I'm kind of getting the vibe.
Yeah, I do. And by the way, a ribbon cutting coming up this weekend, as a matter of fact.
Yes, and we'll actually be talking with Darlene Stromstad about that later this week before the event. Christine in Whitesboro, you didn't get to ask Dr. Hall this last week. She actually reached out as we were wrapping up. Do we know yet what will happen with St. Luke's? That's still up in the air, isn't it?
Yeah, no. Both St. Luke's and St. E's are still up in the air in terms of what's going to happen. There are plannings that are going on, and what might be appropriate for the two areas or the two facilities. But right now, there is no definite answer for it.
And Faxton will remain a medical office where you might go to have testing or imaging or what have you done?
Yeah, Faxton, we are converting that into our outpatient facility. It's where our cancer center is. A number of our physician practices are there. To your point, outpatient testing is there. So we are, that building is being converted into really an outpatient medical building.
Okay.
Two other things that have come in. In fact, we did hear from Jim Zecca. In fact, I think he held a press conference about this maybe last week. There are claims in the community that what ultimately will happen with one or both of those facilities is the migrant situation. That is there anything?
They held Here's the thing that amazes me. Now, first of all, Doc, has there been any conversation about putting homeless or migrants from New York City into any one of these two hospitals?
Not that I am aware of, and I think I would have heard about it.
The other part is, it amazes me, they had a demonstration there last week.
Yes, my understanding was that there was some kind of a demonstration. I think it was outside of St. E's. I didn't see it, but that was my understanding.
It is mind-blowing to me. And, Jim, it just blows my mind that you would have a protest over a rumor. There is absolutely no evidence that has been talked about, is going to happen, even hinted that it is going to happen. There's no evidence at all. And there was a protest. I have never seen anything like it.
And if I can throw one more in.
It's protesting something that hasn't happened, we think could happen. We think could happen. I guess we'd call that a preliminary protest.
A listener called and asked about the MVH office in Boonville and Barneveld. Is there no doctor up there at this time?
We do have providers up there, both docs and APPs. I believe that one of the offices, I think it's the Boonville office, the physician position is in transition, but we still have APPs or nurse practitioners,
right,
physician's assistants up there. We do have a doctor that does go up there on a regular basis to review the care that's being provided.
All right, Doc, enough of this. We appreciate the time. Thank you. And we look forward to seeing what it all looks like and seeing this thing open up. It's going to be pretty amazingly exciting, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be a real thing, and we're really looking forward to it.
All right.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks, Doc. You too.
Have a great day. His line is, and please stay safe out there. One comment, if I could. You want me to do a... hold on. Siri's talking to me. Yeah. All right. Okay, what's the jackpot of Hobica's free money question for the day? What is it going to be?
$400.
Okay. Oh, it's a biggie. Davey, it's a biggie today. All right. Go ahead.
No, I didn't have anything to add to that.
Michael is commenting. He said, I based on all of this, I'd like to ask Jim Zecca, which creature is stronger, Sasquatch, the Abominable Snowman or the Loch Ness Monster? Which is stronger? Good question. And Ross Bartel says, please remember, the NHL schedule officially starts tonight. And if you'd like to go to our website, there's a great story that Don Leibel did on Brendan Burke. Man, is he hit the big time, right?
Yeah.
He was the play-by-play announcer here for the Utica Comets, and now he is the play-by-play announcer for the New York Islanders. He has struck gold.
Yeah, it's he's been there for a while. And matter of fact, I did an article on him, a year and change ago, and it was when he was taking over the Yankees broadcast for the games that John Sterling wasn't doing. So yeah, he's excellent at what he does, and he is, I would say widely respected in the industry.
And we've had him in studio, and we've talked to him, and I got to say that he is when you look at him, he looks like a bowl filled with excitement. And he is indeed that. All right, Davey.
And he occasionally does the NHL on TNT games, too.
Okay.
The national games.
Well, there's a story up on our website about him. Check it out. Perfect timing for the opening of the NHL. And, of course, Comets season opening Friday night at home. It is a blackout.
It all kicks
Friday.
off tonight at 5:30 with the Nashville Predators against the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Thank you, Davey. And speaking of the Utica Comets, head coach Kevin Dineen on the line right now. Good morning, Kevin.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Well, here we are. And just like the weather guys always say, I can't believe it's June 1st already. I can't believe hockey season is here.
It comes up, sneaks up pretty quick, and I was listening to you there for a little bit between the Loch Ness. I was trying to think of some Canadian monster. All I could come up with the famous Ogopogo in the lakes of British Columbia. But anyways, good to be back in Utica, and a great story on Brendan Burke. You know what? It's kind of cool here. Utica, we always talk about players that we try to and hopefully can put into the NHL, but it's not only players. Sometimes our medical trainers or our radio broadcasters, coaches, it's pretty neat to see, like a Travis Green, the success he's had and what a great job he's done so far in New Jersey. So a lot of good stories certainly out of our neck of the woods.
Well, let's be honest. It is a little problematic that Brendan Burke went to the Islanders, but, that's a big deal. That's a huge deal. So, all right. Well, let's talk about how you feel about the upcoming season. The Utica Comets back in Utica this week.
We are right in the thick of it. You know what? We just had a great day we left on Sunday, and we snuck up to Old Forge and enjoyed a very short trip on the lake before we had a major rain out, and then played a little golf. So we're going to hit the ice this morning and get back into our training mode and prepare for Friday night and our season. And we have some new faces here, so I think that's always important when you get away and the guys get a chance to spend some time around each other. Maybe not so much in the locker room, but just enjoy each other's company. And boy, what a incredible spot that Old Forge. Hey, I'm a Lake George guy, so I always kind of considered us the heart of the Adirondacks. But certainly it was a great day for us, and I think it's a good prep as we move into our season.
Well, you look at history, Old Forge and the Adirondacks. It was the Disney World for Americans back then. It has such an amazing history, and you're right. It's beautiful up there.
Coach, I know that the rosters were recently finalized, and I see that one of the Devils defensemen, is it Simon Nemec, is coming down to play with Utica?
He is, yeah. Simon was with us last year. You know what? He's an 18, is a whopping 19 years old right now, and
unreal.
Just so impressed. I mean, hey, you get kids your own age are at that stage, and here's a young man that came in, is playing professional hockey, getting an apartment, getting cars, and a car, but he's a lot of responsibilities at and away from the rink, and we're really excited about his future. I think he's going to be one of these guys a number of years from now. We'll be talking about, hey, there's a guy that played some time in Utica and really developed as a person and a player. So we're excited to get him back. As always, don't kid yourself. He's a player. He'd be disappointed coming down, but he's also turned himself into a real professional, and he's got huge upside. He'll be a big part of our lineup, and he'll be a big part of the Devils organization moving forward.
We were all here, let's just say 15 years ago, before the Comets, and what the odd was like, what the condition of the odd was in. And then you look now, and, in order to be home to an AHL program today, a franchise, you got to be able to make sure that the facilities are comfortable and they are up to par. Would you say we're there? And then with the addition of Nexus, the whole facility has just come such a long ways. Nobody would know it better than you.
No, and I think you got to look at, hey, I got to walk out of work every day, and I see that fabulous new hospital next door. I see this facility they put in the Nexus Center, and what's happened with the odd, and they really turned it into a gem of the American League. The fan support is incredible. We had a season ticket event at Turning Stone last week where the fans picked up their season tickets and had a chance to spend some time with our players, and the turnout was really impressive. For our first-year players here, I think there was a little bit of a wow factor to see the enthusiasm there is for the team. We had a home exhibition game, and hey, it's a hard building to play in. And you look what Robert Esch has done to make this building a first-class facility. I think it's really impressive, and I can't say enough about the Nexus Center and Utica University. Both their men's and women's hockey team are playing there. And you know what? The secret's out. You know what? Utica's a real place where players enjoy playing, and we look at it as a place that even on the youth level with the Nexus Center is a great place for us to hold hockey tournaments during the week, and it'd be great for our hotel and restaurant businesses. It's a real untapped gem. We're excited to be here.
Coach Kevin Dineen, thank you so much. We're excited about another huge season with the Utica Comets. Can't wait for Friday night.
Glad we caught up. All right, you enjoy your day.
Thank you
Take
so
care.
much. All right, Coach.
Nice, Coach.
Coach Kevin Dineen.
Simone Nemec there, the second overall pick in the 2022 draft, the second overall pick. He played much of last year in Utica, 65 games, and it will be one of those situations where you watch him in the NHL someday where he's a impact player, and you go, remember when he used to play in Utica?
And you never know when that is, right?
No, you
That's
don't.
the AHL. So, all right, Davey, let's do our free money question of the day from the Hobeika Law Firm. Joseph and Andrew Hobeika. On the line here this morning is $400. And which caller are you looking for?
Caller 10.
10th caller through the lines right now. We'll do it next. Caller number 10 at 315-736-0186. 315-736-0186 at WIBX.
Investing involves risk, including possible loss of principal. Income may be subject to state, local, or alternative minimum tax. Did you know that municipal bonds are a way for investors to support civil projects while earning federally tax-free income? The Erie Canal, which led to the expansion of the United States into the Midwest in the 1800s, was financed with municipal bonds. Are you looking to bridge the gap between the income of your working years and the income needed in retirement? Municipal bonds might provide the solution you're looking for. Henyon & Walsh is a leading specialist in tax-free municipal bonds and has provided investors with quality service and personal attention since 1990. Call now to receive their informative bond guide absolutely free. Dial 1-800-761-9761 to learn how to earn retirement income while keeping your taxes at bay. Just dial 1-800-761-9761 for a copy of their informative bond guide for free. No cost, no obligation. 1-800-761-9761. Henyon & Walsh Inc., member of FINRA and SIPC.
Hi, this is Bill Cole from Gates Cole Insurance with exciting news. We are expanding with a couple of new offices in our area. One new location is North Country Estates Insurance in Lowville. They are another independent insurance agency that takes pride in making customers happy and fits our culture at Gates Cole perfectly. Here is William Schaub from the newest Gates Cole agency, North Country Estates Insurance in Lowville.
Working with us as an independent agent with this many companies, we will often call our clients and say, we're going to reduce your premium if you like. We have the companies that do well in New York and specifically this area. The coverages that we provide are commercial and personal insurance. That's the home, the auto, ATV, motorcycle. There's nothing more fun than taking care of a customer and being able to tell them that we're able to save them some money.
Proudly representing Finger Lakes Fire and Casualty Company of Trumansburg, New York. Gates Cole Insurance. We'll take care of you.
Life happens, and at Mohawk Valley FCU, we are here to help you through life's ups and downs. It's not always easy. Life isn't perfect. That's why Mohawk Valley FCU goes above and beyond for their members with higher interest accounts, superior service, easy loan approvals, and so much more. With locations on River Road in Marcy, in the State Office Building in Utica, and with mobile banking, you'll receive the best service no matter where you are. Mohawk Valley FCU now welcomes all Town of New Hartford employees. Member-focused, member-driven. Visit MohawkValleyFCU.org.
Hey, River Hills Properties, Bill and Robin Monjo, the fastest growing real estate company in the area. Currently, they are the #1 independent real estate company in all of central New York. How did they get there? Service. Doing extra for each and every one of their clients, no matter the asking price. You could be selling a $30,000 property. You could be selling a $300,000, $1 million property. It doesn't matter. Everybody gets the same services. And there's the book, 40 to 100 pages filled with details about the home, providing any prospective buyer with all of the information needed. And you know your listing agent is there every time the house is shown. It's just a list of things that River Hills does that other agencies don't do. And it assists you, makes it easier, makes it quicker. It assists you in the selling of your home. Why wouldn't you list with River Hills? In Barneville, Little Falls, and Utica, their offices. And, of course, serving all of upstate New York, it's River Hills Properties, LLC.com. Call 315-896-1009. Nobody sells homes like River Hills Properties.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, here we go. It's a chance for you to win, Davey, $400 from the Hobica Law Firm, Joseph and Andrew Hobica, at 315-724-1600 for your legal needs. And Jamie is in Whitesboro right now. Good morning, Jamie.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. You ready to go?
Sure. What are we playing?
We're going to throw a question at you. You'll have 7 seconds. You have one answer. You got to give us one final answer. And if you get the answer correctly, you'll walk away a winner of $400.
Fingers crossed.
All right. Cross those fingers. Here we go. Here's your question. Hippocampus is a part of your brain. It's also the scientific name for this animal. Ready? Go.
A hippopotamus.
Is it hippopotamus? Yeah. That's a toughie. The brain part, I think most people know, but hippocampus is the scientific name for a seahorse. The little,
Really?
the little seahorses, yeah. I don't know why. I have no idea why. That's kind of a random question. Listen, we will give you don't lose around here with the Comets game coming up this weekend. We'll give you the all-in-one food and fun card. It's a $25 gift card. Go to Aquavino, Babes, Taylor and the Cook, Adirondack Bank concession stands, Nexus concession stands, and 72 Tavern and Grill, which reopens this Friday at the Adirondack Bank Center. So stand by, Jamie. We're going to hook you up and mail it right to you, okay?
Awesome. Thank you very much.
All right, Jamie. Thank you. You needed to use the hippocampus portion of your brain to come up with that answer.
Which I clearly wasn't doing. I've never heard that before, and I have some vague memories of seahorses that we had in 2nd or 3rd grade one time. They don't last very long, do they?
They're
ours didn't.
Odd characters, right? Like odd creatures.
I guess so. I remember we had an ant farm, and we had these little seahorses in this little tank that we had.
Here's another question that I bagged because I gave it up on the air, and I'll give it up again. What is the national animal? Sheriff Mashel, you can be in on this.
Oh, boy.
The national animal of Scotland.
Oh, I have no idea.
It is it's the unicorn.
When did you put that on the air? Today?
I don't know. I think I've already done it.
Oh.
But it's on here. It's the second time I've seen that question. I've done it before.
I've never heard that.
It's the unicorn. You know, that very real animal. That
Yeah, it's a fictional character. Well, then the state animal in New York should be something like a would you say a Sasquatch or a Bigfoot?
It would be big Bigfoot. I'm also told, speaking of Bigfoot, I think we're going to have Zecca Thursday. We're hoping Thursday morning he'll be in studio.
I'm trying to see when we can do this.
Sheriff Rob Mashel in studio right now. Sheriff, good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
Good to see you. Glad you're here.
Thank you.
And listen, I think we're going to be surprised by your number. It could go either way.
Yep.
I can't believe there's so few people. People are so follow the rules here. They do not pass school buses when a school bus is flashing the red lights or that stop sign comes out. Or is the number much higher than we would expect?
Well, I'm not sure what would be a high number in everybody's mind. But in my data that I'm looking at in front of me is up until Friday of last week. So we're not counting this week at all.
So it's about a month.
About a month's worth of data. Legitimate passes, because the camera picks up a bunch of things. The one area where we find a lot of discrepancies, that's why it's critical for a member of the sheriff's office to view these videos each day, because what we find is in the school parking lots where school buses are letting kids off and picking kids up, the camera is so sensitive. It's actually picking up car plates like in a parking lot over that's not near the bus lane. So those are technically, they're not illegal passes. So that's why it's important but these are legitimate
passes.
On the road passes, and some are pretty scary. We've issued, as of last Friday, 147 violations in Oneida County in the first 3.5 weeks of school.
I am shocked that the number is so high.
And this is only, now I'm giving you a snapshot of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 school districts. So that's only half of the school districts, excluding Utica. Let's take that one out because we don't but because our program is, just because of the way the New York State law is set up, we're eligible to put cameras on every bus, every school district except the city of Utica. They have to do their own independent local law.
Okay.
But we are only doing half of the remaining school districts, and we've had nearly 150 buses passed, legitimate passes on the road while kids are getting off or getting on the buses.
So I'm shocked by that number being as high as it is. Do you feel the same way?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Every district is averaging at least 2 per day that we have cameras on.
Wow.
2 per day. There's a lot more.
Which is what?
captures,
Whitesboro, New Hartford.
So the ones we have cameras on, New Hartford, New York Mills, Rome City, Sequoia, Waterville, Westmoreland, Whitesboro.
Wow.
And
2 per day. Do you think that are these oftentimes people, you're driving, the light turns yellow, now you know it's going to hit green, but you're going to try to get
we're filtering those
and by
too.
the way, over on the arterial, Commercial Drive, where you get off route to
840?
840.
Oh, 840, okay.
Where you get off 840 and you're going over, that area is the worst. You have to look over there, because if you pull out when your light turns green, you're going to drive into the lane. Somebody's going to hit you.
Yep.
So is this that where somebody sees the stop sign just comes out on the bus and they whiz by quickly?
No, because the bus is giving you a few seconds of the yellows before the reds come on. That's the way the system is set up.
Yeah.
If you talk to the bus drivers, the most common thing, and as scary as it is distracted driving. People got a phone in their hand, and they're not paying attention.
I see it all the time,
They're texting
man.
while they're driving, and they're not paying attention.
Yeah.
Some of these streets, I don't have the data in front of me just because I didn't want to give out specific neighborhoods, but we are aware of the roads and streets where the passes are occurring. I am shocked at some of the neighborhood streets where there's no line, like similar to, because I grew up on the same street where you live now, Jeff, but streets like that, people are passing stopped school buses. It's crazy.
Is it because they're in a hurry or they're not paying attention?
I think it's a combination of both.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm grateful for this program. I hope that the remaining districts And like I said, we can put cameras on every school district buses in every school district, excluding the city of Utica, the way the law is set up. So the districts that don't have them, please reach out to one of the school districts that have them.
Yeah.
You can hop on a bus. You can watch how it works. It's an incredible system. And like I said, I know this is not about revenue, but there is revenue, obviously, it's generated. That's how the cameras are paid for, and the installation, the technology, and the remaining profit is split between the county and the vendor. That's how they make their money, obviously. But there's no money that the schools have to put out for this at all. No upfront costs.
I did have somebody that I'm close with who said, I feel like this is, they're just trapping people who are busy. The problem is that's a good argument right up until a child is hit.
Mm-hmm.
And if you remember the story where the video was out and it went viral, it went national. It was a bus driver here who actually pulled a kid back,
saved the child's life,
was about to step right into the front of an oncoming car.
And in New York State, and I know I use the numbers all the time, but there's an average of 50,000 buses being passed per day, stop school buses per day.
Per day
in New York.
Wow.
Obviously, it's population driven, so most of them are downstate. But my point is still 50,000 per day on average. And now you're seeing TV commercials. I don't know if you've seen them or not.
I saw one
TV
where
commercials.
a kid was on the cell phone and actually hit a little girl, and
so
looks
there's
like
there's
that's
a
the end
push
result. Yeah.
nationwide, not only in New York, but
Yeah.
obviously nationwide also,
Wow.
because this is a huge problem, and they're most of the fault goes to distracted driving.
Yeah. John in Bridgewater with a question here. John, good morning, John.
Hey, good morning, Bill. Hey, good morning, Sheriff. I was wondering, out of them 147 tickets, do you know how many of them were commercial driver's license holders?
Good question.
I do not. All the videos that I've seen, and I haven't seen all that many because, like I said, we have someone in our office that handles this, but they're all passenger vehicles or small vehicles,
like,
pickup
let's
trucks.
say if I'm driving my car and I do have a commercial driver's license, I'm not talking the trucks. I'm talking people driving cars that have a commercial driver's license.
Mm-hmm. Well, this specific law does not affect a driver's license.
Yeah, this is a
this
civil
ticket is
penalty.
going to the registered owner of the vehicle.
Okay.
Under this different section of law. The traditional passing stop school bus law, that's section 1174. That still exists. But this one is a new one that was created just before COVID in 2019, late 2019, early 2020. But it's a civil penalty that goes to the registered owner. That's why we don't, the system doesn't care who's driving the car. The ticket's going to whoever that vehicle is registered to. The other option, if it's a rental vehicle, the law authorizes us to go through the rental company, find out who's renting it, and then it would go to that person who rented the car.
And it's not a plead guilty or not guilty.
There is obviously you can plead not guilty.
You can plead
absolutely.
okay.
No one obviously in the way our system is set up is you're innocent until proven guilty. So when you get the ticket in the mail, the court of jurisdiction where you receive this ticket where the violation occurred, you'll get an opportunity to go to court. We'll also send you the video, and you can watch yourself pass the stop school bus. So I'm not quite sure what the defense would be.
John, thank you.
All right. Hey, thank you very much.
All right. I think there's I know we'd run them. You got to start sending these videos to us. I think that would be talk about, actually send them to me, not us, because that'd be a big click. People would be clicking on that all the time.
And I don't see where that's an issue at all. We can.
I think you'd like to see this happen. I think it's a good learning
Scary
experience.
stuff when you see
Scary
how close.
stuff.
Yep.
Can you talk just a little? And I was out last week, so
yes.
it may have happened, but the issues at the jail and the state coming in and
yes, the report that was released last week was from a death in the jail 2 years ago.
And that was over Narcan not being distributed,
that is
right?
Well, according to the report, Narcan was not given. The individual who died of a fentanyl overdose was in our facility for 2 days prior to the overdose occurring. There were several times during those 2 days where he was seen by medical. Then there were times when officers, felt that he needed to see medical and he refused medical treatment. But in the end, when he was found, he did at some point obviously get fentanyl, whether he had it on his person, which we don't believe when he came in 2 days prior to, or he got it while in the facility.
Right.
He did overdose. As a result, no sheriff wants anyone to die in their custody,
Sure.
obviously.
Yeah.
But we, obviously now we have Narcan distributed around the facility. And before, now remember when Narcan first came out, we weren't using Narcan like we do now. When in doubt, whether we know it's an overdose or not, if someone's
Just
unconscious
being
on the
used.
floor, they're going to get Narcan.
Okay.
Because we now know, obviously, that Narcan's not going to hurt you if you get it and you don't need it.
Understood.
But
Okay.
typically, when this stuff first rolled out, we would administer Narcan if we knew there was an overdose.
Right.
So, and again, it's an
And is
unfortunate...
it if the person with Narcan becomes conscious, you automatically know that was an overdose?
You would.
Okay.
And then there's the question, how effective is Narcan on fentanyl too? Because obviously depending on
I've heard where they sometimes have to do it
the potency, correct?
Yeah, more than once.
So whether that would have worked or not in this situation, obviously
know.
we don't know.
All right.
But again, it's an unfortunate
I have
thing.
40 seconds. The training is, I'm assuming, it's not an easy thing. So you have an inmate who's just spitting on you. You have an inmate calling you names and insulting you, and
Which is a
all of
regular
sudden,
occurrence all day long
They
in the jail.
drop down on the floor.
Right.
That prison official has been trained to put all that behind him or her, and they still.
Our
that's
main
important.
goal, whether we're talking a correction officer or a deputy sheriff, our job is to preserve life,
No matter
save
what.
life,
Okay.
no matter what the circumstances are.
Sheriff
Absolutely.
Mitchell, as always, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That
Thank
bus
you, sir.
story is something. Boy, that is really unbelievable. Here we go. Top of the hour, 8 o'clock news, WIBX Utica Rome.
Israel keeps pounding Hamas targets in Gaza. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
There's nothing stronger than the Jewish people. We have battled persecution for 3,000 years, and if they think that this is what's going to break us, they are so wrong.
Her brother's an Israeli soldier as airstrikes continue to rain down on Gaza, where 700 Palestinians are dead. 900 Israelis and 11 Americans have been killed. Fox's Greg Palcott is in Sderot.
This was a real battlefield for Hamas militants and police and soldiers. Just a couple days ago, for the first time, Israel can finally say that this town is secure, and some 21 other towns just on the other side of the Gaza Strip line to the north and to the west is also secure.
Now, Hamas is holding about 150 hostages, threatening to kill them. President Biden will speak later today about the war in Israel. He already called it in a statement an appalling terrorist assault by Hamas. The president's been interviewed by the special counsel investigating classified documents found at his home and an office as well from his time as vice president and senator, unrelated to the Trump criminal documents case. Now, an update on the American journalist jailed as an accused spy in Russia.
Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich will stay behind bars longer in Russia, where a court has rejected his appeal. His detention now extended until the end of November.
That's Fox's Lillian Wu. The House still without a speaker, in limbo.
We've got to get this done as members of Congress. We got to do it Wednesday.
Majority Leader Steve Scalise just told Fox Business Republicans had a good meeting last night and will gather again today. And despite some pushing for ousted Speaker Kevin McCarthy to return.
Kevin didn't jump in. Jim and I are the two that are running. And what you had a lot of people saying is, look, whoever is the one that emerges, that's who we're going to get behind.
Jim Jordan's been endorsed by former President Trump, but Trump critics dropped out of the Republican race for president. Will Hurd has endorsed Nikki Haley. And nobody won the Powerball jackpot again last night. It's now up to $1.73 billion. America's listening to Fox News.
Identity theft shows no signs of slowing down. In fact, more than $29 billion were stolen last year alone. That's a criminal success story and a wake-up call for everyone else. It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity. LifeLock makes it easy to help protect yourself if you become a victim. A dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. Join now and save up to 25% your first year with my name, Clay, as your promo code at LifeLock.com, promo code Clay.
Pure Talk, America's wireless company, is on a mission to alleviate $10 million in military debt by Veterans Day, but they're going to need your help. Now, Pure Talk will donate a percentage of every new order to this great cause. When you make the switch, they make it simple, fast, and easy to their super fast 5G network. Talk, text, plenty of data now, only at $20 a month. Do it right now. Dial pound 250. Say the keyword SAVE NOW. Make the switch to Pure Talk, and you can help a military member in need.
The Senate.
We have cloudy skies, 47 degrees. WIBX news time is 8:03. This news update is brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica, Commercial Drive in Yorkville. Congressman Brandon Williams joining the Keeler in the Morning show on Monday. He talked about the exit of House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. and the actions of Matt Gaetz, who opened the door for his removal. Williams said on the show it was very clear that Representative Matt Gaetz of Florida is all about himself and cares nothing about the Republican Party and what's best for America. Williams also commenting on the situation in Israel. He called what Hamas did to Israel as horrific and disgusting, and then reported Iranian connections to the Israeli attack, with Russia's invasion of Ukraine and China looking increasingly ready to invade and overtake Taiwan. He says one has to worry about the potential of a much larger conflict that could develop into a larger war. A man facing legal trouble in the city of Utica after a traffic stop. It happened on Utica Street. A search of the vehicle led to the discovery of multiple baggies of cocaine, according to police. As a result, the driver, 22-year-old Jamal Cochran, was taken into custody. He's charged with criminal possession of a controlled substance. Governor Kathy Hochul says security still increased at Jewish facilities across the state after the attack against Israel by Hamas militants. The governor says police are doing more surveillance around places including synagogues and community centers. She's also calling on social media companies to report messages from extremist groups that could be considered threats. In the Capital District, state police say a 17-year-old boy has been arrested for allegedly causing a deadly crash over the weekend. It happened in Colony. Troopers claim he was speeding on Interstate 890 near the Curry Road exit when he lost control of his vehicle, causing it to roll over and hit another vehicle. The impact killed one of his 4 teenage passengers, 14-year-old Amon Willis. The 17-year-old is charged with DWAI and vehicular manslaughter. His name is not being released because of his age, and state police say the investigation into the tragedy is ongoing. WIBX News Time is 8:06. The cool weather continues. It is fall for sure, but we're hoping to stay dry today. Here's what we can expect from Eyewitness News.
I'm Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint in the WIBX Weather Center. Today, partly to mostly cloudy at times, a few showers mainly to the north and west, a high of 57. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy, still a few showers to the north and west, a low near 40. And tomorrow, once again, partly to mostly cloudy, still a few showers persist, particularly north and west again, a high of 58. For more on your local forecast, tune to Eyewitness News at 6 and WUTR. I'm meteorologist Craig Flint on WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM.
All right, in sports, Monday Night Football last night on WIBX. It was the Raiders over the Green Bay Packers, 17-13 the final. Jimmy Garoppolo completed 22 of 31, 208 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Jacoby Myers had that touchdown catch, and Josh Jacobs found the end zone as well for Las Vegas. They improved to 2-3. Meanwhile, the Packers slipped to 2-3. Injury updates for the Giants. Quarterback Daniel Jones says he's feeling better, and head coach Brian Daboll says he's yet to be ruled out for Week 6 action. Daboll said it's too soon to say also if running back Saquon Barkley and left tackle Andrew Thomas would be ready to return this week. The Giants play the Bills on Sunday Night Football. The Jets will be without one of their best offensive linemen for the rest of the year. An MRI confirms a torn Achilles tendon for Elijah Vera Tucker, the team's right tackle. It's the second straight season-ending injury for Vera Tucker, who tore his triceps last October. Playoff baseball last night. The National League Division Series continued. The Arizona Diamondbacks up 2-0 on the Dodgers as they won last night in L.A. 4-2. The Diamondbacks scored 3 runs in the top of the first. Starting pitcher Zach Gallen put together 5 strong innings to help the Snakes to a 2-0 series lead. They now return to Arizona to host Game 3. The Braves pulled even with the Phillies after they rallied to score 5 runs in a 5-4 comeback victory. The Braves tied 1-1. They now head to Philadelphia, and the American League Division Series action resumes today. The Orioles look to avoid elimination. They'll play in Texas, and the Astros and Twins will meet with that series tied at 1 game apiece.
Okay, much to get into this hour. This is really going to be interesting. We have someone who's in Israel this morning, and we're going to talk to them about just the horror. I don't know if you've seen, it's if you're anything like my wife, she's like, I can't watch this. I just can't watch. I can't watch the news right now because it is terrible. Imagine just sitting in your home and having these people just bang on your door and break your door down and take you out and take your kids.
It's
just
it's like the worst nightmare you can
terrible.
ever imagine.
Yeah.
And now they're saying that because they're bombing and doing everything that they're doing to Hamas, that if it doesn't stop, they're going to execute the 10 or 12 hostages that
Correct.
they have. I mean,
listen, I understand. I've been watching some of these reports, and you have people in New York City, for instance. You have people demonstrating on behalf of Jews in Israel, and then you have people on the other side of the street who are demonstrating in favor of the Palestinians. So I guess I can understand how maybe they weren't treated well. They've been impoverished, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of complaints the Palestinians have in the Gaza Strip. But nothing that I've heard to this point, and ever. I can't imagine ever anything would justify going in and murdering innocent women and children and men, people who are just, they have nothing to do with it. In fact, many of these people oftentimes probably have some sympathy for the Palestinians in Gaza. No justification whatsoever. Can't imagine.
I saw yesterday, and again, I don't want to, I don't know. I think we see this where we see this in politics with the fringe members get all the attention, but there was a protester in New York City, I think yesterday or Sunday night, who was basically had pulled up a swastika on his phone and was like flashing it at the pro-Israeli supporters, I guess I'll say. And it's just disgusting. Again, I don't want to label everybody on who was demonstrating, showing sympathy for the other side that way. But, I mean, we're pulling out swastikas and running around flashing those in people's faces, telling them they deserved what they got. I mean, come on.
Brutal. Really, really bad. But we'll speak with somebody coming up at around 8:30 this morning.
He's
who's
from
over
Utica.
there,
Yep.
and he's from here. And Sarah's Flooring Outlet is the area's leading flooring store for Pergo Extreme by Mohawk and anything to do with flooring. If it's flooring, Sal has you covered at Sarah's Flooring Outlet. You get lost in there, just going through all of the different products, and you know what? Products that you might not normally see around here, that I love. You don't want to be. Sometimes you feel like everybody in your neighborhood is all putting the same product in their home.
Right.
Right? Because there are only so many products available here. The beauty of Sarah's is you'll see, and you can certainly special order, but you'll see stuff in stock and say, I don't know, I've ever seen anything like that. Whether it's tile or your flooring, your hardwood, everything all the way down to carpeting, linoleum, whatever it is you're looking for, they have you covered. It is the largest inventory anywhere around here. Route 49 Plaza, you can get 6 months, interest-free financing. Check it out now in Sarah's Flooring Outlet, Route 49 Plaza, River Road, Marcy, and online at sarahsflooringoutlet.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Go green and save green right now at City Suburban. There has never been a better way to heat and cool your home than with a new Mitsubishi electric heat pump system from City Suburban. They provide energy-efficient comfort year-round, are whisper quiet, 40% more efficient than conventional systems, and offer room-by-room temperature control. And the best part is right now you can save up to $9,000 in rebates with the New York State Clean Heat Program while funds are available. Go green and make the switch today. And as always, receive City Suburban's POMG. That's peace of mind guarantee.
This is Chris from City Suburban on Route 233 in Westmoreland. There has never been a better time to upgrade your system than right now. You can save up to $9,000 with New York State clean heat rebates and make your home more comfortable and efficient for years to come. Call us today at 853-3899. That's 853-3899. Or visit us at citysuburban.com.
The Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida Counties is your community foundation. Together, we've invested $125 million in the community, thanks to people, families, and businesses that want to give back and build a brighter future. And you don't have to have big bucks to make a big difference. Join us as we invest in the future of our community. Learn more about your community foundation at foundationhoc.org.
The government is spying on you. No surprise, I know. But did you know the banks are helping them? And did you know that withdrawing your cash from the bank can be very risky? That's right. Let Swiss America educate you about this. Banks are now required to spy on us for the government, and they report any behavior they think is suspicious. You'll be shocked when you read The Secret War on Cash from Swiss America. This new war against cash is really a war against the Constitution, against all freedom-loving Americans. You must read The Secret War on Cash. Get your free copy by calling or texting 800-630-1490. That's 800-630-1490. This war on cash is growing daily, and it also includes all forms of digital money. So please, get and read The Secret War on Cash free by calling or texting right now at 800-630-1490. That's 800-630-1490. Message and data rates may apply.
Hi, folks. This is Congressman Brandon Williams. As your representative in Congress, if you need help with the IRS, the VA, or Social Security, I want you to give my office a call. I can help cut through any red tape and make sure you're being treated fairly. To receive assistance with any federal agency, please call my Syracuse District Office at 315-233-4333. 315-233-4333, or visit brandonwilliams.house.gov. brandonwilliams.house.gov. It's an honor to represent you. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Hey, did you know you can get credit on your taxes for making energy improvements to your home, like new windows? Right? Like new windows, and the experts at New York Sash have all the information you need to take advantage. With the new energy rebates for 2023, you can get a tax credit of 30% off the cost of new windows, up to $600, and it even gets better. For a limited time, New York Sash will match your window tax credit. Install brand new energy-efficient New York Sash brand windows in your home. Get a credit on your taxes, and New York Sash will match it. Now, to claim this credit, you have to be able to do it before the end of the year, and you'll claim it on your 2023 taxes. Your new windows must be installed by the end of the year. So call today. Get in the list. Save the money. Save it now. Contact New York Sash to find out how you can get brand new energy-efficient replacement windows and up to $1,200 back. Restrictions may apply. Visit the showroom or call 315-624-7344.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, Jeff Manasso standing by right now on from Fox News Radio on the UAW strike, which does that include or is it separate? Is the Mack truck strike a separate?
Well, I think
strike?
It's expanded now to include
or it's a part of that.
Mack truck.
Jeff Manasso, what do we know? Good morning.
Hey, morning, guys. Well, it is separate from the Big Three strike, but still it falls under the umbrella of union employees for the UAW. So these workers going on, some Mack truck workers going on strike at facilities in Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Florida after voting down a tentative 5-year contract deal that workers at Mack and the UAW reached October 1st. It included a 19% raise, a $3,500 bonus, and other benefits. So about 73% of Mack Truck's 4,000 workers voted no. One worker describing the deal as disgraceful and an insult compared to their expectations and what's currently being negotiated with the big three automakers in Detroit. So these people are seeing what's going on in Detroit, and they're saying we can get more.
Yeah.
And so they're voting against it, and now they're on strike. All told, 30,000 UAW workers between Mack, Ford, GM, and Stellantis on strike with no end in sight.
Wow.
You know, when you look at the auto workers in all of this, their claim is that, you know, the industry was very lean and it was in trouble. And when that was going on 5 or 6 years ago, they stepped up for the company. They gave up on raises at the time. This went on for quite some time, and now they're saying you were gonna make it up to us, and your offers are not even close to that. Seems to be where we are. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. They gave concessions, and they're saying the companies are profiting, making billions and billions of profits in profits, and so they want a piece of that. So a 40% raise, a 4-day work week. The big three automakers are just saying we can't do that. Not when we're supposed to be in the middle of this transition, this mandated government transition to all electrics, in which these companies are shelling out billions upon billions for it. So it says they can't, they say they can't afford to do both. We'll see. Even the UAW knows they need to come down to at some point meet, but they're holding out for a better offer.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, people are only going to pay so much for the vehicles, right?
Right.
And there's that sweet spot. I guess they're trying to reach. I mean, the days of that $20,000 car you drive off the lot and you're all happy. Those days don't exist anymore. I don't think.
Yeah, those days are gone. I was talking to a buddy recently about your first car. The days of that $600 used car.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Right. Right.
The average used car is $30,000 now. Your average new car is $50,000. Forget about the interest rate.
Yeah.
It's becoming unaffordable. But these automakers are losing $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 per sale on electrics, and that is also a huge problem.
Yep. All right. Okay. We'll see where all of this goes. Jeff Manasso, as always, thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you.
All right. Jeff Manasso from Fox News Radio.
I don't know when these workers are going to get it through their head, but the shareholders matter, and you don't.
I don't know when they're, they all should work a day in radio and television, to be honest. Local market, radio, TV, or God forbid, newspapers where they're barely making any money. There are a lot of people that are. Boy, you'd be so much better off. I'm not talking to you specifically, but it probably could. This shoot probably could fit. Working in a factory somewhere where we just don't have a lot of those factory jobs anymore around here. And the days of getting that pension, and they're probably still taking advantage of those pensions. But the day of the average person getting a pension, it's all about your 401k. And boy, you're lucky if your company actually contributes. It's a whole different world.
I hate to say this, but you're lucky if it's not been cut in half in the last few years.
Yeah. The Atlanta Braves were down to 4. They were down 4-0 last night against the Phillies in the 6th inning, but rallied back to lead 5-4 in the 9th, and it was a double play in the end that finished it off. A game like this is really unique for me as a Mets fan because I don't want either one of them to win,
right?
To be honest. So it is what it is, but here's the audio from last night.
He deals a 2-2. Castellanos in the air to right center field. Harris is on the run. Harris at the track. He leaps, and he makes the catch.
Oh.
Harper might be doubled up. The throw gets away. The throw to first. It's over. It's over.
Wow.
Now, there is one part of that makes me happy. It's Bryce Harper being out. I kind of am good with that. Davey, you want to comment on that last night?
That was Brian Anderson on the call.
Anderson on the call. Okay.
Yeah.
Today, the Astros visit the Twins in their tied series, and the Orioles play the Rangers, who lead the series 2-0. There we go.
Yeah, and it's, the Orioles had to sit and wait for the series to begin, and then they've just been outslugged. 2 games now by Texas, and it's a chance it'll be over that quick baseball, it takes, well, I guess in every sport, it takes 6 months to get you to the playoffs. But
And I'm shocked to see the Dodgers down 2-0.
yeah, Kershaw,
he got lit up.
Six runs in
is that a best of 5?
They're best of 5 this round, yeah.
One more game. Joe Lode. Good morning, Joe.
Hey, good morning, Bill. I'm sorry I called in just a couple of minutes late, but I was really hoping to talk about the car situation, because I was listening to that guy talk about there's no, he said $600 cars anymore. I'll tell you what, Bill, when we were in school, there wasn't a $600 car either. They were more like $1,000 or $1,500.
I know.
But,
yeah.
I mean, your average used car right now, you're seeing the prices again start to creep up a little bit because of demand. And here we go again. These guys are on strike. It's causing us to have delays on orders, on people waiting for vehicles. And so you're seeing shortages again at these lots. The nice thing is I can tell you in Boonville, we have a ton of vehicles right now, which is we're blessed right now. So we have a lot of vehicles. And if you need one, you're not going to find a used car for $1,000, though. I will tell you that. I think our lowest priced used car is around 10.
Hold on, I was doing something else. Did I just miss a plug you just did?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I did. Okay.
I didn't say the name Matt and Imy GMC. I just said in our lot in Boonville.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. All right.
Joe will be in our lot tomorrow as he comes in after his morning workout. He'll be joining us here on the show.
Yes, I will be in tomorrow morning.
Okay. All right, Joe.
If that's okay, if that's all right. I mean,
listen,
it's fine. I just got to play the disclaimer when you come in. The views expressed by this guest host are not necessarily those of Town Square Media or its advertisers.
Looking forward to it, Joe. Thank you, man.
All right. You have a great day.
All right. You do the same.
He's still licking his wounds over that beating the Cowboys took the other night, Sunday night there.
He's gone now. I wish he wasn't. Okay. So I'm talking about this app that I downloaded yesterday, and it's an artificial intelligence app. And you okay in there, Davey? Yeah. You all right? A little tired, a little yawn in there. Let's all yawn together.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. Sometimes that yawn makes you feel so...
I thought he was sneezing.
So much better, doesn't it? Yeah. Let's see here. So I know this sounds pompous, but please don't take it this way. But I'm like, I wonder if what artificial intelligence how it would handle if I were to ask the question if it knew me.
Okay.
Right? Like I do a who is.
Oh, right. Okay. I thought you were again getting to this whole thing where the one bot allegedly tried to manipulate the reporter into leaving his wife. So do you know me? Do we have a connection type of thing?
So in this case, it's more of a, if I were to ask who is Bill Keeler, would you know? Would you be able to dig that deep? All right. So who is Bill Keeler? All right. Let's wait. It is moving. All right. Here we go. I can get
There are multiple people named Bill Keeler, so without more specific information, it is difficult to determine which one is being referred to. Some possible people named Bill Keeler include 1. Bill Keeler, radio personality. He is a radio talk show host and journalist based in Utica, New York. He hosts Keeler in the Morning on WIBX 950 AM radio station. 2. Bill Keeler, artist. He is a contemporary artist known for his multimedia works that blend sculpture and installation. He is based in the United States. 3. Bill Keeler, baseball player. He is a former professional baseball player who played as a catcher in the major leagues.
I did not know
that. He played
that.
for the Cincinnati Reds and the Houston Astros in the 1970s. Without more context, it is not possible to determine which Bill Keeler is being referred to.
All right, that's very interesting, right?
I could have used a plug there.
But they should have. She apparently just glossed right over you.
Yeah.
I didn't
You get
realize
cut out of the bio.
There was a Bill Keeler that played played for the Astros in the 70s. I didn't know that. There's
either.
of course legendary Hall of Famer Wee Willie Keeler, whose name was William Bill as well, but wasn't referred to as that. But you can ask this thing any question. It really shocks me. You know where it's amazing, and I was watching my daughter do homework last night, and it's all this complex organic chemistry stuff.
Oh,
No
yeah,
clue.
yeah.
No
Sure,
clue. Imagine if your kid came to you and was like, "Can you help me with this organic chemistry question?" No, get away from me, because there's no way. There's no way. But she was something where she can use the AI, or in this case, she was just asking Siri. Was when she was doing calculations. Instead of having to pull out a calculator and do all the calculations as you're going through your homework.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it's like, Siri, what is such and such times this? These calculations. I didn't even know what the calculations were, to be honest with you. But it was amazing that within just a couple of seconds, Siri had the exact answer. I mean, I think there are ways that it does make us better, and can make us better.
Right.
And can allow us to advance things further, advance research further, and learning. I think we're going to see coming in the next 10 or 15 years an enormous acceleration like we've never seen in the history of the world of advancement in knowledge.
Yeah.
Because of this.
Well,
so there's an area where it's really good, but what if we find out something that we don't want to know, that we wish we didn't know?
Well, what do you mean? So
now it can also be used, just for instance, artificial intelligence used in cancer research is going to be amazing. Without it, we would not. It may take us another 20 years to get to where we're going to go, but because of artificial intelligence, we're going to get there in the next 3, 4, 5 years. We're going to go places that we never would have done without the creation of this artificial intelligence. That is going to better the world. It's going to better society. However, now we got to come up with. So we're going to be able to come up with a way for us to live longer. We got to find a way for us to live longer with a quality of life. I mean, you want to live longer and be miserable? I don't know that I want that.
So it's interesting.
Now,
Go ahead.
AI can obviously be used for harm and nefariously. So therein lies the conundrum. How do we balance the two?
Look, a lot of people, a lot smart, very smarter, much smarter than me, very smarter, obviously, much smarter, have real concerns about this, about if it gets into the wrong hands. And to your point about it makes us smarter, again, I always wonder about that, and this is a stupid analogy, but I'll use it when we talk about cell phones and nobody remembers anybody's number anymore. I guess you make the argument we have the ability, certainly we do, to maintain a contact list that is much larger than it would typically would be, and certainly larger than someone could keep in their mind. But I just feel like when we rely on this technology all the time, I wonder if it makes us smarter. I mean, it is smart, but I wonder if it makes us smarter.
I think it allows you to get to places where you can learn more than you ever would have known by not having to waste your time on the calculations to get you there. And I am a believer that makes us smarter.
Certainly as a society, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have to do, like what my daughter was doing last night for organic chemistry, if you don't have to do all of the calculations, it would take you, each calculation might take you 10 minutes. Now it's done in a matter of 10 seconds, and you move on. It gives you more time to learn more. It allows you to advance further than you ever would have advanced. I really think that is something that will benefit us.
Were you talking about yesterday about people driving, and that a lot of people, especially the younger generation, doesn't have the desire to learn how to drive?
I wasn't talking about that, but I do have opinion on it. We can get to it coming
Sure,
up.
okay.
Ryan Schmelz, today, the House of Representatives return. And will they be able to, because it is needed very desperately right now, will they be able to elect a speaker quickly when you really have a major divide in the Republican Party? Ryan Schmelz, they're going to need some Democrats to help here. Ryan Schmelz, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. How are you?
Good.
Ryan, I'll take this question. No, they won't.
Okay.
Yeah,
we'll talk to you later.
That's not going to happen. The Democrats are united.
Disasters.
They've been united around Hakeem Jeffries, and they will stay united around Hakeem Jeffries, it looks like.
So, at what point do you have some who stray and say Democrats who say, you know what, we have Ukraine we're dealing with right now. We have this horrific situation in Israel, and everything else, possible government shutdown. It is such a critical time right now. I'm going to walk away and do the right thing. I'm going to, as long as the Republicans can come back with somebody we can work with, I think that there will be some Democrats that may stray, although Democrats have a great history of sticking together.
Yep. Well, Democrats aren't going to have to do that if, in fact, Republicans meet behind closed doors on Wednesday and they all get behind one speaker candidate. I remember asking Tim Burchett, who was one of the congressmen who voted to oust Speaker McCarthy, well, if your candidate, whoever you endorse, ends up losing, will you support the winner on the House floor? And he said, I will, as long as it's Steve Scalise or Jim Jordan. So we're getting a lot of answers like that where, these folks have made their endorsement, but if their candidate doesn't win, they said that they are willing to just join up with Democrats, or I should say join up with the rest of the party and make sure that there's a united front so that they can actually confirm a speaker on Thursday.
Scalise, I think, will be the easiest one to get through if you're looking at moderates. Hardest one to get through when you look to the right, to the far right. Jim Jordan probably has a better shot, and of course, he's endorsed by Donald Trump.
Yeah, and Jordan won the first step, which was to get all or at least the majority as of right now, from his own delegation, including some of the moderate ones like Mike Turner. Now, the question is, where are all the other moderates going to fall? Because I think what's interesting is you have a lot of the New York delegation Republicans who have not made endorsements, like Mike Lawler, as well as a couple other ones, and some of them have been open to the idea of reinstating Kevin McCarthy. But if they're not able to get McCarthy as a serious candidate, could they, are they going to be the ones who fall in for Steve Scalise eventually? That's the kind of the question we're also looking at.
Listen, we spoke with our Congressman Brandon Williams yesterday, and I could bring up the quote, but basically ripping on Matt Gaetz. And as you hear a lot of, when you hear some of the stuff being said about Matt Gaetz, it involves young girls, underage girls, all of this stuff. That's not coming from Democrats. That's coming from Republicans who are angry that McCarthy is out. So you do have that very interesting divide. But as Williams said to us yesterday, this is an embarrassment. We've got to get something done. And I can't believe we gave the Democrats the chance to oust McCarthy, and they did. Now, what's going to happen?
Well, yeah, I can tell you there's definitely some serious heat towards Matt Gaetz right now. It's just the tension that's going on whenever he walks around the Capitol is certainly felt, especially when you see Republicans who are, making comments towards him. There certainly is a level of anger. And Mike Lawler, the New York congressman, yesterday said that he thinks that Matt Gaetz is a vile person and that he should be expelled from the conference.
Williams almost went there. Didn't go quite as far as the expulsion. But all right, Ryan, we appreciate it. Thank you. We'll see what happens today and tomorrow. Thanks so much.
Have a good one, guys. Thank you.
You do the same. Obviously, it's important to have a Speaker of the House with what's going on in Israel. As we said, Steve Brown is from Utica, has lived in Jerusalem for quite some time. He is an osteopath. And from Jerusalem is on the line right now. Stephen, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
I can't imagine what you're going through, what the people of Israel are going through right now. It's been described as Israel's 9/11. When we see what happened depicted on television with basically it's live recorded videos, it's just horrific. Yeah. I can't imagine. Good morning.
Yeah, that's correct. It is likened to 9/11. As it stands right now, we have about 900 dead, almost 3,000 wounded, and around 125 people kidnapped. Including children and women and even grandmothers. For Israelis, this is a nightmare scenario. There's nothing could be worse. So we're all praying that we're going to come through this.
Steve, you've been out there for a long time. Let me ask, based on your location where you live out there, are you concerned someone might kick down your door? As some of the accounts that we've heard of what's gone on, are you, I guess, in some type of a safe space? How has this changed your day-to-day life? I can't imagine.
No, I'm not worried that somebody's going to actually kick down my door. But fortunately for me, I live in a new building, and every new building built in Israel has its own bomb shelter. So when the sirens go off, I head for the bomb shelter, and it takes me just a few seconds to get in there. I close the iron door, and it's steel reinforced concrete, and it's no guarantee, but it does make me feel a little bit more safe, to get my family inside there. But, when you're waking up out of a sound sleep with those sirens going off, it's pretty, uneasy feeling, to say the least.
Has there been anger from Israelis because this is one of the best militaries in the world, Israeli military, and the security has to be top level like almost no other place in the world. Are people and you wonder how did the United States not see this coming? How did Israel not see this coming? Has that been a conversation at this point?
Oh, very much so. I mean, that's the question that everyone's asking. Israel is supposed to have the top intelligence in the world, and this has been planned by Hamas for a very long time. And I guess we're going to hopefully find out the answers. Now, what we understand is that this is all backed by Iran. This is funded by Iran, and unfortunately, we know that the Biden administration gave Iran recently $6 billion for the release of 6 American hostages. I always believe that we're not supposed to negotiate with hostages, but Biden administration gave $6 billion to Iran, and that money has gone to funding Hamas. And we also are coming to see that some of the weapons that America gave to Ukraine is being bought off of the black market and obtained by Hamas. So that's being used against Israel as well.
Well, if I can just say, the Biden administration says that none of that money has been distributed as of yet. However, it's like it allows them to say, okay, we know we have this money coming. We can spend this money here. I guess that's certainly possible. At the end of the day, you don't have to wonder about Iran, because they celebrated this. They from at the highest level of government, they have celebrated this attack. I mean, that should tell us any deal that is pending right now should be null and void. There should be no deal.
Yeah, I mean, completely correct. And the thing that we're almost worried about, and America should be worried about as well, is if Iran obtains nuclear weapons, that is a real game changer.
Yeah.
So, who knows, we're in a way right in the beginning of this war. The great danger is that in the northern Israel, in Lebanon, there's another terrorist organization called Hezbollah, which is also backed by Iran. And they are much, much more powerful than Hamas. They have very powerful weapons, even, guided weapon systems. If they get into the fray, I mean, there have been small skirmishes, but nothing really too big yet. But if they get into the fray, then we could be looking at a war on several fronts. And then there's the possibility of, Israel looking at possibly taking out the Iranian nuclear facility, which, in my opinion, that needs to be done, because if they get nukes, they're going to hold the whole world hostage.
Right.
Even if they don't use them, they're going to hold everyone hostage.
Yeah. Well, when you really think about it, that's what nuclear countries do. It's what Putin has been doing. While certainly we don't think he's going to use those, he has certainly threatened and not taken it off the table, which completely changes the way we deal with a country that is a nuclear power. So speaking with Steve Brown, he's from Utica. He's lived, how many years have you lived in Jerusalem, Steve?
About 18 years.
Okay. He
18
is
years. But right around now, I really miss Utica.
Yeah,
I love Utica. I still have a lot of friends there. I keep in touch with all the time.
Matter of fact, Steve, one of them, Kevin, reached out to say, please tell Steve I'm praying for him. He's like a brother to me. Love him like a brother.
Thanks. I went to UFA with him.
As an osteopath, have you seen any of the any patients, or are you far enough away where you haven't seen any patients?
I've treated a lot of soldiers. I have a lot of patients that are soldiers, but I haven't. I've put in my name to volunteer, but I haven't gotten out there yet. But I'm sure I will be treating people, as soon as possible.
Wow.
Yeah. You mentioned Russia, and one of the things I want to emphasize is, we're all familiar with the concept, MAD, mutual assured destruction. And we lived through the Cold War, and because we knew that, there was rationality there, that, if somebody pressed the button, we knew we'd all be destroyed. But with these fundamental Islamic, radicals, so it's a culture of death. They yearn, for the next world. So it's fanaticism. Something like that we can't imagine. So it's not the same thing as Russia.
No, you're absolutely correct. I mean, listen, we lived through it during 9/11. These were people who, it's hard to conceive that they hate us so much that they were willing to take down innocent women and children and innocent men and fly them into buildings in their airplane and die themselves because what they receive, they believe they're going to receive is something glorious, which is hard for us to be able to understand. I can't imagine such a small country as Israel living and surrounded by all of this, where that everyone surrounding you wants you to be eradicated from the planet. It's just, I can't imagine what that must be like every day.
Actually, people don't understand how small Israel is. It's actually around the size of New Jersey.
Yeah.
But, in recent years, thanks to Trump, actually, because, of the Abraham Accords.
Right.
So there's been a lot of peace agreements. And I believe another motivation for this war is the possibility right now of a peace agreement with Saudi Arabia, which would be a wonderful thing.
Right.
And, for many, many reasons. And Iran absolutely does not want Israel.
Correct. Which is probably why this is happening right now.
It's one of the reasons, for sure.
Well, just hate alone. Alone is also one of the reasons. And I do have to say, and I'm sure you, based on how I hear your politics, I do think for this moment, Netanyahu is the right person for this job. He will be relentless, and there's only one course of action. You have to eliminate the enemy.
I completely agree with you. I mean, in the past, Gaza, the Hamas took over Gaza in around 2005 when Israel unilaterally pulled out of there. They have no presence in the Gaza Strip. And, since then, they've launched, many attacks, but this is by far the worst.
Yeah.
There are more Jews that have been killed, in the last couple of days than since the Holocaust.
Yeah.
So this policy that Israel has had until now of deterrence, of trying to make peace with these people, is failed. And people are finally beginning to wake up to that, in my opinion, when you have an evil as great as this, I mean, you see what they've done. You see the videos of killing children and killing women and raping them and just the worst atrocities you can possibly imagine, that evil must be obliterated. I don't want to see any innocents get killed, okay? But the innocents need to get out of there, and we need to turn Gaza into a parking lot, basically. That's how I feel.
I could not criticize you for feeling that way. I don't know how else I would feel if I were in your shoes. Rob this morning says, technically, base per capita, it's worse than our 9/11. The dead in Israel equals 30,000 when you look at the population. It's equivalent to 30,000. Had 30,000 died during 9/11. And we know that it was just under 4,000 here. So obviously both were equally horrific. But
yeah, I mean, the scary part is it's not over yet. And as I said, I mean, the thing that really concerns me is if Hezbollah, gets into the fray. But maybe it's time, Maybe it's time.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies is The Godfather, and Michael Corleone's idea of cutting off the heads of the 5 families. To take power. I mean, maybe that's a bad analogy, but maybe we need to take out Hamas and Hezbollah and the radicals that are running Iran. And by the way, I feel sorry for the Iranian people. I think a lot of them are good people, and they're being very, totally oppressed by the fanatical Iranian regime. So,
you look at what the young people, many of the students have done there, but they are punished so viciously. You just don't. It's very difficult for them to accomplish any bit of progress there. So Steve Brown from Utica has lived in Jerusalem for the last 18 years, is living through this horrific scene, and we appreciate the update. Maybe we can do this again next week. I'd love to check back in with you.
Absolutely, and I just want to say I've gotten tremendous support and messages and prayers, and please pray for us. I mean, because we feel it and we appreciate it, and it matters. It really, truly does. So thank you.
All right, Steve. Thank you. We'll speak next week. Thank you.
Of course, again,
Very
that is
good. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Steve Brown,
Be safe.
originally from Utica, who has lived in Jerusalem for the last 18 years, and obviously a scary situation there for him.
We'll break and come back. It's 8:52 at WIBX.
On behalf of IBEW Local 43 Union Electricians and the NECA Contractors, we are pleased to partner with Syracuse University in providing our members with an opportunity to enhance their education at this great university.
Syracuse University's partnership with the IBEW will provide talented students the opportunity to advance their careers while shaping the future of the electrical trades and the industries they serve.
Central New York's future is bright, and the IBEW Local 43 and NECA will continue to help light, power, and grow Central New York.
We're going abroad for the first time in years, to Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Warner Sales and Service, building relationships
Building trust.
Contractors and landscapers, rent your way to greater profits with Bobcat equipment from Warner Sales and Service. From heavy work right down to the fussy stuff, Bobcat loaders, excavators, and a wide variety of attachments will handle all the tough jobs like lifting, digging, pushing, carrying, as well as the more precise applications, grading and leveling. You'll be able to take on more jobs and get your current projects done with Warner Sales and Service. Whether it's the tough lifting and digging or the more precise work with attachments, you name it. Warner Sales and Service has the Bobcat rentals to make sure your projects get done. Tough jobs demand tough equipment. So when you have a tough job, rent a Bobcat machine. Stop in today at Warner Sales and Service, just off Route 365 between Rome and Verona, and at WarnerSS.com.
Warner's, where quality still counts. At Warner's.
Tucker Backyard Pools and Spas is in a brand new location, 8086 Seneca Turnpike, just west of New Hartford as you're heading towards Westmoreland. And their showroom is filled with 2 beautiful pools and a ton of spas and hot tubs. You can check them out. Their hot tubs are beautiful, all in the showroom, all in their brand new facility. It's Tucker Backyard Pools and Spas on Seneca Turnpike, west of New Hartford.
Investing involves risk, including possible loss of principal. Income may be subject to state, local, or alternative minimum tax. Did you know that municipal bonds are a way for investors to support civil projects while earning federally tax-free income? The Erie Canal, which led to the expansion of the United States into the Midwest in the 1800s, was financed with municipal bonds. Are you looking to bridge the gap between the income of your working years and the income needed in retirement? Municipal bonds might provide the solution you're looking for. Henyon & Walsh is a leading specialist in tax-free municipal bonds and has provided investors with quality service and personal attention since 1990. Call now to receive their informative bond guide absolutely free. Dial 1-800-761-9761 to learn how to earn retirement income while keeping your taxes at bay. Just dial 1-800-761-9761 for a copy of their informative bond guide for free. No cost, no obligation. 1-800-761-9761. Henyon & Walsh Inc., member of FINRA and SIPC.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So, while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Oriskany Garage is your locally owned tire store that will compete with the internet retailers and chain stores on price, but we promise to crush them with personal and professional service. Give locally owned Oriskany Garage an opportunity to earn your tire and auto repair business. Brakes, tires, funny noises, warning lights, or any of your auto repair needs, come and experience best of the best service at Oriskany Garage or online at ogtire.com. Come on and say it with me and make the noise. ogtire.com.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
Oh, Mr. Lula Pola, the FBI says he stole from the children. Una poke the money right into his bank and to the casino. Into the slots the money did go. He didn't even get a jackpot. You'll make a check out to Lewis, a hefty check out to Lewis, and then when he's done, he'll pay all expenses. Yes, he'll pay the expenses, and then what's left will go to the kiddies.
Boy, I got to tell you, I remember the interview with him way back then when this first went down, and His whole thing
Let me
was
just tell you,
kind of this. This is what
there are not 5,000 people invited to this party.
I don't even know 5,000 people.
The
Remember this.
invitation list was 1,500 to
2,000 people.
I've been in politics for 40 years.
Yes.
I've had my own list from all the fundraisers I've done. I'm a public servant, long time. The money will pay for the stamps for the mailing.
You know, the school never helped him with the stamps. That school never helped him with the stamps. Oh, boy. Well, listen, these are all allegations. You're innocent until proven guilty.
Yes, that's correct.
Let's not forget that. You have some comments there? I have some stuff to do, too.
Here we go. So this comes from Reed. He says, I'm excited about the hospital going downtown. Bottom line is, it is downtown. It's an anchor for development
What do we...
for the whole downtown corridor, development that hadn't happened for decades, including by, quote, business-minded, end quote, no hospital downtown members. Also, this hospital will handle the medical emergencies that our area is currently incapable of handling, which results in, I don't know what that is, in sending of our patients to Syracuse and Albany for seemingly routine ailments and emergencies.
The more we can do here and not go there, the better it is. Steve Ponte Mazda. They make it easy for you, says Ricky Z, to find the right used vehicle at the right price. Thanks to the Mazdas winning so many awards and people like me going out and grabbing a new Mazda, they're seeing record sales, which means pre-owned vehicles all over the place. Mazdas and Hondas and Subarus and Jeeps, GMC, Dodge, Hyundais, and more with low mileage and great payments. Just ask Ricky Z for your help. Let's make your deal, where it's always easy to do business. One location, all makes and models. Steve Ponte Mazda, Commercial Drive, Yorkville. Back tomorrow. WIBX Utica, Rome.
It's now up to more than 1,000 Israelis dead. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, and a fourth day of fighting after Hamas's terror attack.
It's no surprise to us that once again they are wanting to terrorize the Israeli public.
Israeli Defense Forces Major Libby Weiss.
At least 11 American citizens killed in part of that death toll, and several, it is believed, Americans being held hostage.
It's 4 now believed that Hamas has that are American, about 150 hostages in all, and they're threatening to kill them. As Israel keeps bombing targets in Gaza, Fox's Greg Palkot is in Sderot near the border, says Hamas also is firing back.
We heard the Iron Dome in action, knocking down about 5 or 6 rockets coming from Hamas.
And sirens have blared in Tel Aviv, warning of more rocket fire. Hamas also warns Israelis to leave the Israeli town of Ashkelon. China's Middle East envoy is calling for a ceasefire. Saudi Arabia says it's in talks trying to prevent an escalation.